Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
I'm sharing my AIRO screen right now, my dashboard and everything, so you guys should be able to see it. If not, let me know in the chat. But I have all 28 currency pairs on here. Okay, so, and I have it on the M15, H1, and H4. If I get an alert, it'll pop up. If I don't get an alert and you do, let me know. But let me know what the time frame is and what direction your alert is going and what strategy you're thinking that it is that you want me to look at. Okay, I don't have the M5 because I'm not trading the M5 on currency pairs. M15, H1, H4. And the reason why is because those are the 3 time frames that Nate has given a recommended take profit and stop loss on currency pairs. Okay, so anything outside of that, I'm gonna need y'all to give me information as to what you want me to look at, so that way I can be get through it a little quicker. Any questions? All right. And what's the other thing? Yeah, so name the pair, name the time frame, name the strategy that you're looking at, and if you got an alert. So if something is looking to set up great, that's fine. But if you got an alert, I could definitely take a look at that. But things that are looking to be a certain way, I might be able to take a look at it, but sometimes they don't never pan out. So I want to just make sure we can keep it moving. But today might be the day to look at that kind of stuff because frankly, I'm not sure what we're going to get. So I think that was about it as far as housekeeping goes. And like I said, any questions you have, definitely put it in the chat, or any comments that you want me to comment on, put it in the chat. I mean, not in the chat, my bad. The Q&A. Put it in the Q&A so I can look at it because I'm going through the Q&A and not really looking at the chat, because every time you put something in the chat, so many people start commenting, and then whatever you wanted me to look at is gone. So that's why I say Q&A. And you don't have to raise your hands either. Just put it in the Q&A and I'll try and keep up with it. All right. So with all that being said, family, let's see what we got. Let me just check these arrows. These all popped up right at the 9 o'clock hour. GBP, JPY, we got a bounce. Arrow, go. It's on the H1, so we're looking for 50 pips to the zone. Do we have it? No, we don't. We got 32. Not taking the trade. Not a bounce arrow go for 32. No, thank you. It might blast through that, but it needs to be 50 pips to the zone for a bounce arrow go. Okay. Bag entry off of the H1 following that strategy rule. All right. So no bounce arrow go for me because it's less than 50 pips to the zone, but it was about 32. You want to catch 32? Hop in and see what happens. Okay. But just know that it's 9 a.m. and this is a GBP JPY. So it could very well take its time getting there. You might have some drawdown. So when you on the H1, it's a 50 pip take profit, 100 pips stop loss. Okay, so if you want to do 100 pips from where price is at right now, you're just about at this underneath this support zone. So just know if you're going to take it to the zone, it's 32 pip take profit and about 100 pip stop loss. So your risk to reward is a lot higher, but if you're willing to take that chance, bounce arrow go. Okay. I'm just going through my alerts and then I'll check the chat. Now, that was off the H1. Here's the H4. All right. Now, on the H4, I don't have a zone popping off. I don't have a zone that this is popping from for me, unfortunately. It looked like there could be one there, but I'm not taking no chances necessarily. But if you do have a zone there, more good for you. because it would be a bounce, arrow go. Oh, matter of fact, I'm sorry. Let me go back to the H1 because I forgot to check the trend. My bad. Let me check the trend. I can't see nothing with these hand raised. There you go. Zoom out. Okay, yeah, we are on an uptrend. Whew. I'm about to say I'm on doing all that talking. Forgot to do follow the rules. H4, check the trend. Definitely an uptrend. How many pips to the zone? H4, 100 pip. You got it. All right. So if you got a support zone to bounce off of right there on your chart, that's a bag entry strat too. You know, you got that this. I got in. You can only trade your chart. Okay, so my chart may not have a zone, yours does, but I'm just going through the alert. That's a valid bounce arrow go for me on the H4, and it looks like it might even be a W. So, ooh, that might even be the last leg of a W. Except I ain't got no zone that it's anchoring off of, so I would have to look at that in a different way. But that does look valid. So if you got that zone there to bounce, that's a bag entry for sure. Okay. Um, one more thing, and then I'll jump to what y'all looking at. GBP USD off the H4. I have no bounce because I got these interruptions. I got nothing. Okay, and then off the H4, do I have it going to 100 pips to the zone? Nope, it's 65. If you got a zone that it's bouncing off of, go for it. I can't, unfortunately. And the last one, USD JPY, it was a potential and didn't stay, so that don't count either. All right, let me get rid of all those extra charts that I just opened up that I didn't really need to do. But let me do that, and then I'll go look at the Q&A and see what y'all talking about. All right, so that's that. Let's check this out. Theo. Hey, Theo, what's up? How many tips do we try to go for, and how many pips do you use for a stop loss? H1, strategy 2, Nate teaches 50 pip take profit, 100 pip stop loss. Strategy 2 off the H4, 100 pip take profit, stop loss is not determined. So you would have to go based on what he teaches. I think he's following the trend, or I use zones. So I use the zone that it's coming off from as a stop loss. You know, it's up to you, but he definitely does produce a take profit. Let's see. Hey, Alan. Nate also traded indices. Any reason why they're not on this dashboard? Because Nate trades German 30 and I don't. So I'm not going to have German 30 on my chart because that's what I don't trade that. I trade S&P. And the reason why I don't have S&P on the chart is because I trade it solely based off of the M5 majority of the time when I'm on a call with y'all. And I don't want the M5 giving me alerts for every single currency pair. So that's why it's not on my dashboard. I choose to trade it outside of it. Which, matter of fact, let me go to my S&P on my M5 right here. Okay, so S&P on the M5, we had a down arrow alert off the M5. Let's see, it's been 15 minutes. That's a buy on USD JPY. That's interesting how the H4 came and then the M15 came. That's interesting. Where's USD JPY? I have that already. M15. Let's see here. We got a bounce. Arrow. Is that, how many pips is that? 20 pips to the zone? No, only 8. Not for me. But you got to bounce arrow go if you want to take 8 pips. But remember, take profit is 20 pips, 40 pips stop loss. So if you're only going for 8, you might want to shorten your stop loss, but you could get it hit sooner. So he tells you 40 pips stop loss off the M15. So caution on that, okay? Let's see here. Oh, let me go back to my S&P, see what's going on. I forgot. So I was on the M5. There was a counter trend arrow alert right here. Bounce, arrow, counter to the trend, because on the M5, we on an uptrend. Okay, that happened between 8 and 10 a.m. That's actually strategy 6, the counter trend strategy that I'm talking about. Now he teaches, and Nate teaches it off of the currency pairs, and I trade off of S&P. So I have not um had time to really go through strategy 6 on S&P in particularly, but I can see right here, bounce, arrow, go. It closed below this 200, and then it dropped, and it did go for about 12 pips. And I know when Nate teaches it on strategy 6, it's a 20 pip take profit. So right now you might be able to scout that, but on a counter trend, that's and the counter trend strategy is between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you get a counter trend arrow alert bouncing from a zone, you can take the trade for 20 pips. That's typically what's taught for the currency pairs. And so I'm just trying to see if I can apply that to the indices. But right now it worked, but you only catching like 5, 10 pips so far. That ain't bad, but I just want to see if that's consistently going to do that. Okay. So I'm actually just waiting on S&P real quick. And before it's 9:17, so I want to mark something up before the stock market open. But let me check this Q&A real quick and see what we got going on. Let's see. What happens when the zone moves after the arrow signal is given? Well, Edwin, the zone, you talking about the actual support zone or resistance zone, right? So if the arrow signal is given and you talking about a zone disappearing, or you talking about the zone is getting stronger? Let's see. Oh, Kristen, thank you, C. Roy. I appreciate that. It's nice to see you. Appreciate that. Yeah, so if the zone gets stronger, that's one way that it will move. Otherwise, it might just disappear. So if a zone like this zone got stronger, so to speak, right? Another one popped up or something, and then it went down. And let's say price came back and turned around, touched it again, and then you see the zone get bigger. It just means that it's strengthening. But if you see a zone like disappear, and hopefully I'm answering your question, so if I'm not, just explain a little further what you're meaning. But I wouldn't worry about a zone disappearing on your way to it. Usually that just means you're breaking through it. The zones are always going to disappear and appear. They will repaint because these are not necessarily hard-coded things. They're not imaginary, but just like placeholders, I guess to say, of when the last time price touched a specific point. Okay. If I'm not answering your question right, please just go ahead and retype it again. Hey Pia, so on the fibs, you understand from 0 to 100, but why do we have the minus fib and what's their purpose? Okay, you know what, Pia, that's a good question. I'm actually going to draw my fib here in like a minute so I can kind of talk over that because I need to see what I'm going to set up for S&P. So I'm going to get you in just a second, Pia. Danielle, my zoom in and zoom out is going from my chart. Can you help me when you get a chance, please? Sure, your zoom in and zoom out is going. So you mean you don't see this menu bar up here at all with the auto trading and stuff like that? If you don't, it's a view and it's a toolbar. And like you got the time frames, you got the line studies and the charts and the standard. I believe it's either standard. Yeah, it's standard because it's not. Make sure that's selected because I believe this is like the line thing that it was talking about. So you click on view and just check its toolbars and make sure they all selected, and then yours will look just like mine. How do I set all my trend lines? What you mean by that, James? Because when I set trend, when you talking about trend lines, I'm gonna tell you this real quick. This right here is a horizontal line. I'll just use this button right here. Draw a horizontal line. Here's your button for drawing trend lines if you want to do that. These are MAs though. These colored lines, those are moving averages that I selected. Okay. So to do your moving averages, it's insert, indicators, trend, moving average. And then you put whatever moving average you want to put on there. The period is what determines the number. So I have the 200 SMA on my screen right now. You can have a 200 EMA. If you want the EMA, you change it to exponential. And then you can change the number to depending on the period. You want the 5, you want the 13, you want the 9, you want the 50, things like that. That's how you would do it. And you could just keep doing it to put on however many EMAs or SMAs you want. It disappears. Okay, Edwin. Yeah, so that hopefully, Edwin, did I answer your question? Let me know if I didn't. Bet. Good job, Danielle. Got you. What indicate, Umar? What indicator gives me the golden arrows? That's the fractals. I use the fractals. Indicators. Insert. Indicators. Bill Williams. Fractals. Just change the color if you want. Make them as thick as you want. And hit OK. And they appear on there. They come based on 5 bars. Originally, matter of fact, there are 2 ways that fractals appear. The ones that are in MT4 are based off 5 bars, but there is a 3-bar fractal. It's just not in MT4 as a default indicator. That is actually a custom indicator that you would have to upload if somebody had made it. But since you can't do that on the VPS here, you got to deal with the default. But it is based on 5 bars. And what that means is, let's take this fractal high, okay, which is considered a bearish fractal, okay, if I said that right. Yeah, I think so. Did I say that, or is bullish? I might have messed it up. I can't remember. Fractal up is another way to say it. But anyway, to get this arrow, this candle right here needs to confirm it. So this just means it's the highest high out of 5 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those 5 candles, this is the highest high. This is the fractal high. Okay, but this fractal can appear once this candle closes, but it is not confirmed until this candle closes. Okay, and the same way with a fractal low. That's how it works. Now, the only thing about fractals is you see there's so many on here, but the good thing about them is that all they do is signify a change in price direction. That's all they do. Okay, it doesn't tell you how long, doesn't mean anything like that, but they are good because there are strategies in using fractals, because I use one. But that's what that was. S&P's turning around. We got 7 minutes till market open. Let me see what's going on. And do I set them on a template? Yep, I do, James, I do. So I have my own saved template. If you want to save template, you go to save. You're going to get this little error. That's okay. All this means, all this error means is that you do not have the ability to save your templates in the MT4 data folder. That's what this means. That's why we're restricted from that. But if you hit OK, you can save it on your desktop, the desktop of the VPS, which is what I did. All right. And that's where, and when you want to get your template, you load from the desktop. And what that means is, and I can't go to the data folder because it will kick me out. But normally when you save it, it says in this data folder of MT4. That's why. But that's how we got the blackout and you get this arrow. These 2 templates are because they're already in the data folder, because that's what Nate gave us, because he has access to the indicator to build it. So that's where these 2 come from, and that's why they're included in the dashboard easily. And that's why if you want to add MAs and stuff like that, you can't add your template to the dashboard because it's not in MT4, not in the data folder. Hopefully that clears up some confusion on that. Got you, James. Anytime, brother. All right, so now all right, 5 minutes to market open. Let me see what S&P is doing right now so I can go ahead and see what's going on. So this blue line right here, previous day money zone. Boom, I already highlighted and I said it. Previous day money zone, because I'm trying to see if we're going to have a money zone breakout. Look like it broke out today already towards in the beginning of the money zone. All right, this candle right here. And I'm on the M5. And then you had some drawdown and then it went up. I don't know. It went about maybe 10 pips, maybe 15 pips. Probably catch 10. 10 pips is a dollar move on S&P. All right, that's not really a nice move, and I don't really like this long candle right here. Okay, so that it basically, this entire candle took up majority of the pips you would have caught, so it's not good. Now I'm looking for another breakout at market open again. Okay, so I'm looking to see if it's going to break out above the money zone again. And if it does so, it should just either break through this zone right here or maybe get stuck right up in here. So we'll see what happens. You see my MAs are all coming together and consolidating and whatnot. So a breakout got to happen. This consolidation has to stop and then it needs to come out. Okay. So now that's the money zone breakout I'm looking at. This right here is another horizontal line that I did. You see what I said here? Daily fractal high. All right, daily fractal high is what I name it. To name these, all you need to do is double click on your line, right click, horizontal properties, and in the description. That's what I did. That's how it comes up like that. Okay, color it whatever way you want to color it, but that's how I start writing them because I keep forgetting what my lines mean. So daily fractal high. What that means is I marked it off on the daily time frame where the fractal high is. Okay, right here. Why did I do that? Because I trade with the fractals. All right, so I'm actually looking for a fractal breakout, right? And that's what I'm looking for on the daily chart. Once price closes above, breaks above that fractal high and closes, I'm looking for a breakout. That's why I marked it that way. And I'll come down on the M5 and mark this. See how it already kind of broken out? So really, this is your breakout right here. In the beginning of the money zone, closed, and it took off. So that's really what probably was signified as a really strong line. It just happened to also coincide with a money zone breakout as well. So you had a lot of momentum. So technically, a breakout has occurred, but that's on the M5. I'm looking for it on the daily time frame. So that's that. Okay. Umar, if yours don't appear at all, you're going to need to submit a ticket to AP support. And so that way they can go ahead and update your VPS so that you can have those templates in there. So if you do, because if you don't have those templates in there, you're not going to be able to see what we see with AIRO or get your dashboard to look the same as what we have here too. Okay. So hopefully go ahead and make sure you go ahead and do that. Hey Devon. Oh, he did share, huh? Oh, well, shoot. When did Nate share that? Cause I haven't caught it. I need to tell me when did he share that so I can go look at the recording. Cause I'm curious. I didn't get a chance to look at any of Nate's recordings last week. I was trying to catch up with him. Let me know which day last week, Devon. Cause otherwise, he been on there 3 days. You gonna make me go through 3 days of his videos? um. Oh, okay, Joe. Okay, cool. It took a couple of days. Yeah, they might have had a. Oh, they had to reinstall your VPS to reset up your. Okay, okay. Sometimes that happens. I'm sorry that you had to do that. Um, Leo, you can't hear anything. Can everybody else can hear me? Can you not hear me, Leo? Um. But okay, so just let me know. All right, so with that being said, we got the money zone, we got my daily fractal high, we got 1 minute to market open. I'm not doing anything in these first 5 minutes. I just want to see what S&P is trying to do. And the reason being is because here we go, market open. Look at that thing getting ready. You see that take off? Let it take off. Let it watch what do. Watch what it does. I just want to see. Besides, we are 30 minutes from that USD news that's going to drop too. So I'm very wary about anything that happens in this next half hour. Okay. But I'll see what Euro GBP can do. So look at that drop. Ooh. That thing coming to the zone. Yeah, it turned red too. We'll see if that comes to the zone. Euro GBP, N15, all up in the zone. Nope. Not a good trade. No, no, no. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Get back to my S&P. I got all these things open. I got all them open because of me using the fractal strategy because you can't use it with the dashboard. Okay. So let S&P drop like that. Let it drop. Okay. Now I know I called and I said, ooh, that thing was going to drop. Now this is guaranteed it went 20 pips for sure. This thing went dang near 30 pips. So that counter trend trade here, this bounce arrow go, and you got in here, you had about 11 pips drawdown, and then it went just about 30. So that's actually a nice play. So if I catch this tomorrow, that'll be nice. As is doing that. So what I'm looking for on S&P, let's look at what we're doing real quick, and then I'll go to y'all Q&A, right? Because I feel like within this next hour, something's getting ready to happen. I need to catch some pips. All right, so looking at the daily chart, we all on a uptrend, right? So this is me doing the fib. I trade with the fib. I don't trade without it. I trade with the fibs and I trade with fractals now. Both of them is on my chart consistently on everything. So, and the reason why is the fibs help me with my take profit and with my stop loss all the time. So this is not a strategy 8. This is just drawing a regular fib. Okay. So Fibonacci retracements right here, low to a high. I'm just doing this high, low to a high for it because this was actually a little pullback right here. A little bit of a pullback. Didn't hit no 23.6 or nothing. Did some railway tracks and then boom, it's taking off again. Okay. So this trend or this movement is not even a valid movement to really measure. Okay. But you know, S&P is on a uptrend. In order for this to be a strategy 8 in effect, you would need to have price come and close below the AIRO MA. All right. I just want to see what price is doing right now. And it looks like price is taking off on S&P going up. So I am bullish on S&P today. So far, right? Prior to this 10 o'clock news is getting ready to drop. All right. Now, because I'm bullish on S&P, that's the daily. We're going to look at the H4. Look at the H4. All right. H4, we still bullish. We had a little bounce arrow go yesterday off the H4. So shout out to y'all who caught that. Okay. And it looks like it might be trying to pull back though. It might be trying to pull back. And once it crosses below this AIRO MA, you know, then you got a strat 8 in effect. All right. Strat 8 of AIRO is using the fib. Okay. Practice that. Fibs is life. I'm telling you. And once you master the fib, and if you have any questions about the fib, holla at me. Squad that's in the chat right now, they will tell you that it is not that hard once, you know, we go over it. You know, I'm telling you, everybody that I work with on the fib, they love it. They love it. But anyway, so we waiting for that pullback. All I'm doing is perusing what S&P is doing right now. So this is Friday. Friday, S&P did that up arrow, bounce arrow, go, took off, made you some pips, right? Now, because, and that was look like it was like a weird looking W, but it looks like it. Now, because price came in here and stopped at this resistance, by the way, this is ugly. I do not like the way that this support zone is all up in here, and then you got this resistance zone all up in here, and all these candles all up in this zone. It's just crazy. But that just tells you there's some stalling going on right here. And I'm actually anticipating a drop. I'm actually anticipating a drop, especially since that thing started dropping on the M5 the way it did. Okay. So I'm anticipating a drop. And what I'm looking for is price to close below the AIRO MA. Once it closes below the AIRO MA, Strat 8 is in effect. Okay? Strat 8 is in effect. And what I would do is, and I'm going to draw it now because if it looks real close, I want to get my setup right now. Strat 8 is the lowest point that price closed below the AIRO MA. We're on an uptrend, so you're going to draw from a low to a high. Okay, I'm doing fib for y'all right now. And this is recorded. You can always go watch it. From a low to a high, lowest point is right here. Okay, here's the AIRO MA. And price has to close below the AIRO MA. So you zoom in and make sure your candle is a closure below it. Okay, see, this is a candle. This is a bullish candle, so it closed above. The lowest point that price closed below, which is here. Okay, lowest point that price closed below, here. To the highest point, price closed above. So far, here. That's it. Okay. Fib drawn. Okay. It is a valid setup once price closes below this arrow in May. Then this move is valid for us to do what? Trade off of it based off of strategy 8. And all strategy 8 will tell you with the fib is that, and I know I got a lot of lines on my screen, you guys, so I'm sorry about that. But actually what I can do is let me get rid of some of this to clean this up. Let's clean some of this up so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, there we go. It's a little cleaner, What this tells you is when price comes down below and closes, now it's in retracement. And now we're going to look for either a way to trade the pullback or wait for it to finish pulling back to turn around and go back up again. All right. Nate teaches you in strategy 8 that he doesn't pay attention to 23.6. He pays attention to 38.2. So what are we going to do? We are going to mark it off. He pays 38.2, 50, 61.8. Those are the ones that he pays attention to, right? 78.6, which is 79 in his video, and 23.6 he don't even have on his chart. But I do. Okay. So I mark off what Nate teaches, but I have them on my charts because I'm looking for something specific when price closes below it. I'm on the H1, by the way. I love being on the H1. I prefer to trade off of the H1 because I catch swings that way, or I can see where the overall trend is going, and then you go down to a lower time frame to scalp or have sniper entries. All right. So once it closes below, which it should by 10 o'clock, valid setup. Once it hits this 23.6 and closes below 23.6, I'm going to I might ride this trend down. Okay. I might ride it down. That's how I'm going to actually counter trend. I'm actually going to trade the pullback safely. That's about 108 pips I'm looking at right there between two fib levels, waiting for that. This is nice. I'm glad the S&P is doing this. I'm going to get to y'all questions in just a second. So I marked those off. Now, since I marked those off, and I'm going to mark off the 23.6 in a different color because I need to be able to recognize that. I'm going to mark that off in lime green. And then I'm going to mark off the 78.6 as well, lime green. Okay. Now, once I mark those off, I'm going to get rid of this fib. I don't need it no more. Okay. Don't need it no more because I got my levels marked off. So I'm going to write these down. Object, this is going to be H1 23.6. See? This is how I'm marking everything up. Right click, horizontal lines. H1 38.2. Sorry, y'all. This is how I'm trading right now. This is me setting up, marking my setup. I ain't missing this. H1 50. And then let's see here. H1 61.8. And then last one 78.6. H1 78.6. All right, boom. All marked up. Ooh, look at that beautiful drop. Go ahead, S&P. All right, now S&P done dropped. Look at that. Ooh-wee. Look at that beautiful drop right there. Now, this is a beauty. You see how this M5 just closed below what? My 23.6 off the H1. Because it closed below that 23.6, it will go to 38.2 on the fib line. It will do that. So now what I want to see is my entry. How am I going to get into this? I'm going to throw my MA on here. And this is all utilizing AIRO too. The clincher is that AIRO started this. Let me put my 200. Everything's under the 200. Here we go. And so ain't going to be no money zone breakout today. Not going up. And here's my fractal low. All right. So what I'm doing is setting up for my entry to get into this trade to ride this thing down. Now the arrow set me up on my fib for strat 8. I'm looking to ride the pullback. And how I'm going to ride the pullback is I'm going to use a breakout or a candlestick formation to get me in. So I need a color that's going to stand out that I remember what it is. Give me that pink. I'll do that. Here we go. I need that for my fractals. All right. So off the M5, under the 200, under the AIRO MA, I need a fractal low. I already closed below this 23.6. You're going to go to 38.2 or at least touch it. So I'm just looking for my entry to get in, and I'm going to ride it. So that might be a swing trade. We'll see what happens. With that all being said and set up now, I'm going to the Q&A. Okay. All right. So, Pia, about the negatives. LCMFX does not have that red zone. Oh, y'all lucky ducks. Let's see here. All right. So, Pia, about the negative numbers. The negative numbers that was on the fib, what that means is, if you're watching the strategy 8 video, those signify the inverse. And I'll give you an example. Let me draw the retracement here. Since it's turning into a downtrend, I'm drawing it down. Okay. You'll see the negative numbers. I'm trying to scrunch my screen up. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Negative numbers is down because I just drew it for a downtrend. All right, negative numbers is down because I drew it for a downtrend. Here they are down here. You see this negative 23.6, negative 38.2, blah, blah, blah. All right, those are the inverse of your positive retracements. So what Nate teaches on strategy 8, and this goes for currency pairs. So remember, strategy 8 is based off the M15 off of currency pairs. I am applying strategy 8 to S&P 500 because that's what I trade, and I found that it works for me. Fibs work on anything. All right. You could throw the fib on any chart and it will work as long as you know how to interpret the data that is being presented to you on the fib. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily mean that strategy 8 is only going to work for currency pairs and not just S&P 500. It will, as long as you understand how to look at the fib. Now, what that also means is, though, is when you're looking at that inverse, okay? So what Nate teaches you is however far back price touches. So I drew this for a downtrend today, right? Doesn't necessarily mean I'm following the trend in the time frame. I'm trying to give y'all an example. Drew it for the downtrend. So price came back and touched this 61.8 right here. So what Nate teaches is if price touches that 61.8, it's going to go to the negative 61.8. It's inverse as long as you have no zone in your way blocking you. Okay? As long as you ain't got no zone blocking you. So if on the lower time frame on the M5, I don't have no zone blocking me to the 61.8. Okay? And that 61.8 here that I just drew is, yeah, I see USD CAD. I don't know where my H1's next fib level is, but it's pretty far. USD CAD, and that was M15. I'll look at it. But that's what that's what the negative numbers are for. It's for the inverse. So that those are necessarily your take profit. So in this example, 0 would have been TP1. And then negative 61.8 would be TP2. That's kind of what those inverse numbers are. Okay. There's other ways to use them, but that's the way that it is in the strategy 8. Now let me look at that USD CAD. It was an M15. It's about, we all up in the zone. I ain't gonna be able to take it. Don't even know if it's gonna have enough power to bust through it. And I don't really have a bounce, so I can't take that one. But again, if you got a zone that is actually touching and bouncing, it is a valid bounce arrow go. Is it though? Wait a minute, hold on, let me double check. Looks like we in a downtrend on this one. Yeah, we in a downtrend. So that is a counter trend trade. However, then it wouldn't be a bounce arrow go. It would be a strategy 6 because we are before 10 a.m. Eastern time, but then you would count your pips to the zone. So count to the nearest zone is 7 pips. If you want to try and go for 7 pips, go for it. But as long as you got a bounce, okay, from a zone, and you want to go for your 7, you can totally do that. But this arrow that went into the zone, I didn't like that at all. So I necessarily wouldn't take that trade. Not even just because of the zone not being there, but because the arrow went straight into this zone. So I wouldn't necessarily take that trade on USD CAD. Okay. Like I said, I think today is going to be a little bit skeptical on any trade, honestly. This looks like today is setup day. Is that a bullish? Is that a bearish engulfing candle? Sure the heck is. Hold up. Yup. Let me get into that trade and let me see if we're going to catch some pips when that close. Hold up. I'll get to y'all questions in a minute. Let me see what this candle needs to close in 3 minutes. This bearish engulfing candle. And we ain't got nothing on the M1 blocking us, right? I got nothing on this M1 blocking us, and the M1 turned into a downtrend. We closed below this 23.6 on the H1. That thing might just go to that 61.8. But we're going to see. We're going to see what we could do. Hold up. There's a fractal on there. Hold on. We got 3 minutes on this one. I like this trade. Now, M5 is still bullish. So let's see what we got. All right. Got that closure. Let me make sure that's definitely closure below that line. Then it came up. See, it's not engulfing anymore. Dang it. Thought that was going to be a candlestick formation to hop in there. That's all right. We'll just wait. Let me get that fib off here. All right. That's all I cared about, though. I got that closure. And then I'm going to look. I really want this to be a fractal. Yeah. So this current candle can close wherever the heck it want to close. But if it turns if it engulfs this other candle, that might be nice. But this current candle can close. The next candle might make this appear to be a fractal low. And then it can kind of come up and then turn around and go back down again. So either way, I got to sit on this and wait. Got to sit on it and wait. Okay. So with that being said, let's hop in here. All right, cool, Joe. Mike, you crazy. I don't know if I'm going to hop on London session tonight, though. I just might. But I got to watch Nate's video because I want to see what he told y'all about my fractals. Thursday night last week before the conference. Bet. All right, Devon, I'm going to watch that video. Thank you. Hey, Crystal. So you went through the training, but your dashboard doesn't always show alerts. Any advice? You deleted and started over a few times. You know what? Crystal, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. The dashboard doesn't always show alerts. You know what? Here's one thing to look for on the dashboard. This is playing around. We got 1 minute left. New candle just started. See? Y'all see this? Told y'all, when this candle start, this gives me a low. Now, this is the fractal strategy. Wait for the breakout here. Wait for the breakout. Price is below this 200. All right. While price is below the 200 and below the AIRO MA. Has to be under both of them. Okay. Wait for the price to close below this line. Got to close below it. Once it closes, you can take your trade and scalp. Now, I'm going to just tell y'all right now, I'm taking a 5 pip scalp, pip and dip. That's what I'm doing. All right. It might go for 10. It might go for 20. I don't care. I just want 5 pip and dip. So on S&P, it may give you time to put in your take profit. It might not. All right. And honestly, I don't even know what a stop loss would be. on this right now. I'm looking at maybe 10 pips or 15 pips, but because of this scalp, your risk to reward, I'm not even looking at risk to reward. Okay. I'm just kind of looking at how much money do I want to risk. And I'm looking at maybe 10, 15 pip as my stop loss, but I'm a little bit more aggressive. So I'll let it go 50 pips if I wanted to. But and just to get fired, you're like, well, Jackie, this is not a great reward. I'm like, yeah, well, more times than not, this thing is going the way I need it to. So I haven't had it need to go like an extreme amount of drawdown for it to work in my favor. All right. But I'm doing this also in the money zone. Okay. In the money zone off the M5, I got momentum in my favor. All right. Now, if this thing does break though, it's 10 minutes to 10. I need that 10 o'clock news to drop. And I need to see how it affects S&P. Gots to be careful. Gots to be careful. Ain't that what they say, y'all? I think you got that from Cash though. Anyway, so fractal low right here. And by the way, what I'm going to do is let me right click, put an alert on that thing. Trading alert. So when the bid price is less than that, it's going to start yelling at me. And that's what I want. So I don't forget. Okay. Hopefully this will yell at me though. I'm on the VPS. I don't know if the VPS has sound. It should. All right. So as we're waiting on that, let's see here. I will. Yeah, because I can't check DMs while I'm on the call, but I will. But I will forewarn y'all though, if I do get a call, I'm actually waiting on a call or email because I'm supposed to be closing on my house today. They didn't tell me what time, so I might have to just cut the call short. They be like, "Hey, it's time, gotta go close on the house." So as we wait, we wait. All right. So back to questions. Yeah, D Smith, there you go. I'm going through the strategy right now. So hopefully that answered your question on my fractal. Has to close below the 200. Has to close below the AIRO MA. Okay. And then what you're doing is you looking for fractal low breakouts. All right. So that's why I marked off the low. If it's above the 200 or above the AIRO MA, you're going to look for fractal high breakouts. I'm only catching 5 pips. Now on S&P, 5 pips can go real quick because that's only a 50-cent move. All right. This thing is playing around 50 cent right now. So all this up and down movement, definitely you can catch that pip. You know what I mean? But on a currency pair, it might take a little longer to do 5 pips, but it works. Hey Carlito and UJ on the M30, Gianni. Okay. What direction we going? You got an alert on UJ on the M30. It looked like UJ was on a roll today, y'all. So I don't have the M30 on my screen here, but I believe I do have UJ here. Yeah, I do. Well, shoot, that thing done went to the moon, y'all. Well, if you had another alert, is what you're telling me? If you had another alert, I do not know what the take profit on that would be because Nate has not he has not recommended a take profit or stop loss based off of the M30. It's only off of the M15, the H1, or the H4. But that looked like a W. So hey, if you got an alert and the bounce arrow go for it. Let me see how many pips to the zone is it on my end. From where it's at right now, it's only like 6, 7 pips. So I wouldn't worry about it. Plus, also be careful. Notice, that UJ is not worth $10 per standard. It's worth a little less than that. It's like $9 and some change. So if you wanted to do like a 0.01 and you go 6 pips, it's not 60 cents. It might be like 55 cents or something like that. So be very careful too when you're trying to like follow a trading plan and you're trying to catch a certain amount of pips. Not every currency pair is worth the same. Okay. The ones that are worth $10 and up off of standards are your USD majors. Okay. And I'm talking about the USD majors that are not a yen or CAD cross. So USD CAD and USD JPY are not worth $10 per standard, but the other ones are. And your Swiss pairs are actually worth a little bit more than $10 per standard. I think anywhere from 1028 to like 1064. So that's why you see me with Swiss pairs on my chart because I was like, they worth a little bit more money. So just to give that little bit tidbit of information for y'all as well. All right. Let's see here. Well, hopefully, Leo, you can still hear me now. Uh-oh. Can you not hear me? Are you guys in the chat? Let me know if you guys can hear me because I think it said my microphone was tripping. Okay, okay. I don't know why it was doing that. Thank you guys. Okay, appreciate that. Um, Danielle, you need help with the fib? DM me, darling. But before you DM me, just double check and watch that Strat 8 video because everything I'm gonna tell you is based off of that. And then all I'm gonna do is just kind of reinforce some of the information. Plus, I think I dropped a fib video last week too. So I cannot I never have my YouTube channel up, but I dropped a fib video I think too. So you might want to check that out too. Calvin looking for a buy. What am I looking for a buy for? I'm like 10 minutes behind on Q&A, y'all, so I'm sorry. But let me go back to let me get my S&P on there. It's not yelling at me yet, so I guess it retraced back. Ooh, hey, that's an engulfing bearish candle. When that candle closes, I'm hopping in. I don't care if that's 5 pips right there. Come on, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Don't trick me again, because didn't it do bearish engulfing like 2 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago? and, then, and then this thing act like it didn't want to do it. Mm, but that news is about to drop too in 2 minutes. It's going to be, I'm gonna tell y'all what. I'm not really I'm not that I'm not comfortable, but that news is bothering me. The news dropping is bothering me. So I might set a stop loss at 10 pips. So if it hits it, it just hits it. The news is bothering me though. I'm not really comfortable with it right now. But that is bearish engulfing. Yeah, I can get an engulfing candle all day. Those are easy for me to spot. It's when people want to talk about like shooting stars and I guess I can get a hammer, but the dojis and man, nah. I can see engulfing because engulfing is very clear. It's taking over the entire candle. I can see that. um, Give me a minute, y'all. I'm gonna get to the Q&A in a second. I don't want to miss this because if this thing closes the way it is, I'm gonna hop in that joint. I might not have to worry about this fractal breakout. But dang, it's tough though. It's tough. I would prefer that thing to come all the way down and close instead of wicking out like that. That wick is bothering me. Actually, no. I take it back. Let it close as bearish engulfing and then come down and start to come below my fractal. Then I got two confirmations. Then I got two. And then also, then I will have the confirmation of the H1 being in effect too at 10 o'clock. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. I know I'm talking to myself, y'all. I do talk to myself when I'm trading. Just so you know, I'm trading and I'm trading with my money too. So that's why I'm very, very careful. 10 o'clock. All right. So confirmation, 10 o'clock, H1, S&P, Strat 8 in effect. Bearish engulfing candle, drop. Let's go. I'm hopping in. Yup, hopping in. I'm going to catch my 5 pip. Come on down. Yup. Give me some pips. No, that's 48. Yep, come on, get him in there. Yep. And I don't know if y'all heard that thing is yelling. It's yelling for a reason because it's telling me the price drop. Yep. There we go. My little alert. Yep. There we go. It should be 5 pips. Yeah. Okay. 5, 6 pips. Come on. I know I talk to my trades, y'all. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Oh my gosh. Come on, spread. Come on, spread. There we go. Hey, TP hit. Boy, I'm gonna be now. See, I should have did two positions. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. Hold up. I'm gonna drop a little point oh 0.01. I'm gonna drop a little pawn. That was a scalp. Okay, that was a scalp. I know y'all like 5 pips. Yeah, 5 pips. Told y'all it was gonna be 5 pips. Now, I'm gonna drop a little pawn. Is this gonna let me do a pawn on this? Cause I'm doing a challenge, by the way, y'all. That's why it's important, and I'm not messing this up. I ain't blowing my challenge for nobody. Let me go to the specs on this. Let me see what the minimum trade volume is on this to make sure it is one standard. Okay. So I can't do a point oh 0.01, but I can do a 1. I'm going to do this 1. And I'm going to do this because of I'm thinking of this. Once I got my bearish engulfing candle, that's why I took that trade. Okay. I took the trade down. I got the bearish engulfing. I got the below the 200. I got below the arrow MA. I got closure below the 23.6 off the H1. I took that really because of that bearish engulfing. Though it was going to drop. I did not, as you can see, it did not close below my fractal low yet, though. It actually turned around and went back up. And shoot, that's not really bullish engulfing. Not really. It's almost like a railway track, though. But that's why I took that scalp and dipped. I really want price to come and close below this, though. So it's gonna come back down. But I wanted to drop a trade once it actually closes below this, and this is my little pawn. I'm dropping the trade because I want. See, here we go. Closure below the arrow in May. Strat 8 is in effect. All right. So now that it closed below the 23.6, I anticipate or I expect that price should go to the 38.2, but it's sitting in all of this support. So in order for it to actually do that, it needs to break through the support. And this 10 o'clock news, it could be in its favor. So it's actually looking like it's helping, honestly. So S&P needs to make a choice. It either needs to go up or it needs to go down. But either way, it's got to make a choice. And one of these zones is going to be broken. We just need to be on the right side of that to make sure that we catch pips. Okay? So I'm leaning more towards it breaking the support zone and coming down. Okay? Because I see my 200s here acting like a little magnet. I feel like it needs to come on down. Okay? But I can't predict anything, but I feel like it needs to come on down. So we will see. But that's why price is kind of just hovering right here. And then this is my little fractal. You see how it's like right there? I marked it off. That's my fractal low from off the M5. Okay. Here is anything, and that fractal strategy works on any time frame, by the way. You just whatever you're looking for, but I would most likely use it as a scalp. So even if you want an H1 and you want to follow that same strategy, 5 pips, 5 to 10 pips. I would stick with that until you see it could do more. But I'm focused on just 5 pip and dip. That's kind of what I've been doing. Because it's a breakout. I'm not really trying to catch a ton of pips off of this particular strategy. What was I saying? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna stop right here for a second. I'm gonna go back down to the M5 and wait. All right. So, um, and it made a new low of the day too. So I'll wait. All right, now. So let me go this. Your NT4 shows 250 contracts on SCP. Really? Yes, Alan, because that broker is what it calls for on that lot size. Every broker is different on how your lot sizes are uh, are calculated. So when I said 250 lots on this particular broker, that's actually a 2.5 standard lot. That's what it equates to. But anyway, it's $25 per pip. That's what I had. So this dollar here is actually a point oh 0.01. Okay. And yes, this was S&P 500. I'm not on any other pair. 5 pip and dip. Yeah, got to be more careful. You got it, look. Oh yeah, you got it. Yeah, I know y'all like that lot size. I know y'all like that, but it's a 2.5 lot just to make it easy for y'all. Okay, I'm glad, Leo. I'm glad. Um, and Calvin, you said looking for a buy, and I know I'm late on your particular question, but what buy were we talking about? Because if you were talking about S&P, I was solely looking for a sell. Okay, solely looking for a sell, and so just let me know what you were asking about what I was trying to buy. But yeah, I'm only looking for anything under that 200 and under the arrow MA, sell, just sell, sell, sell. Helps that the time frame is, and it helps to know this is the time frame. See how they're even, but it helps to know your fib so you can kind of see what the overall trend is. Okay, what the overall trend is. That's what you kind of want. That's why I drew it off of the H1. I wanted to see the overall trend is up. But and this is based on on my video so that you can understand what I'm talking about. When I drew the fib, it's for an uptrend. But remember, on every call I tell y'all, I do not counter trend trade. I don't do it. I follow the money, right? I'm following the money. So, however, this when I draw the fib and you do what is called like a fib level breakout, when price closes below a fib level, it tends to go to the next fib level. That's how I am safely trading the pullback. Okay. That's how I'm doing it. I'm safely trading a pullback because I'm on the understanding that had I drawn my fib correctly, so this is how you incorporate arrow, the fib, and breakouts while also understanding about trends and pullbacks. All of this comes together. Okay. Master strategy 8 so that you can draw your fib correctly. Okay. Then take strategy 8, the setup as we in right now. And remember, Nate teaches you to look for entries. He doesn't give you an entry. He teaches you how to look for an entry. You look for an entry based off price action, candlestick formation, candlestick pattern formation. Okay. You know, a 3 candle formation can give it to you. Rejections off of a fib level can give it to you. Okay. A bag arrow alert can give it to you. An MA cross can give it to you. Those are multiple ways to take your entry off of strategy 8. Okay. Now, I take it one step further. Instead of me waiting to give me a signal to go back in the direction of the trend, I always had a hard time trading the pullback. Now I see a way to trade the pullback. All right, based off of the fib levels. And this is something that y'all can go back and draw and practice. If it breaks a fib level and mean closes below it for an uptrend or closes above it for a downtrend, it will more than likely go to the next fib level. I said that like 3 times already. And now I can't tell you how fast it's going to get there or what drawdown you're going to experience. And I can't tell you that 100% of the time it will do that. It is all based off of how price wants to move that day at that time. But more often than not, it will make it there. Squad that's in the chat that's been working on this can tell you. I mean, I don't know how many of their family is in the chat right now, but they can tell you about the fib level breakout and also about the fib fan. But these are all things I'm using with fib on Arrow because Arrow is giving me the visual of what the market is doing. Nate tells y'all that all the time. The power of Arrow is being able to visualize the markets in an easy manner and then take the strategies, apply them, and win. catch pips. We all use AIRO differently. So fibs might not work for you, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're not a good trader. I know plenty of bomb traders that can't stand the fib. Okay, you know, but it works for me. So that's why I always trade with it. All right. So and then look, ooh, see we caught that. See we caught that little drop, and then it came right back up. That's quite all right. That's quite all right. Let it set itself up again. Now, if y'all seen on my calls before, y'all would be like, I would be like, man, I need price to come up above this arrow MA so I can get me a up arrow, if we on an uptrend or vice versa. I don't even need that now. I don't need it. Okay? Don't need it. Not with what I just showed. So now here we go again. Here we go again. hmm Get bearish engulfing again. We got 3 minutes. Look at all of these rejections. It's like it's rejecting, rejecting, rejecting. It's hanging on this fib level. It's hanging. That 10 o'clock news dropped too. So I'm a little wary about this bearish engulfing. I'm kind of need that thing to come on down again. But hopefully that all helped you guys with what I was talking about. Hey Teddy, what's up? So how much does someone need to deposit in their account to use a point oh 0.01 lot size on gold? Man, Teddy, I don't even know. I mean, I know what I would use. I, okay, so first off, everybody know me and gold don't speak. All right, like sometimes gold is like not my friend. So I'm like very wary on gold. Like a point oh 0.01. Now remember, a point oh 0.01 on gold, if it moves $2, that's 20 pips. Yeah, $2 move is 20 pips, right? So a point oh 0.01 on that moving 20 pips is what, 20 cents or something like that? Or and that's $2, I think. I guess. No, a $2 move. Yeah, it's 20 pips. Now I can't even remember my math now. But regardless, on gold, I would say, me personally, since I'm not as familiar with gold as I used to be, so if I'm trading on something that I'm not familiar with, I usually put like 500 up, 500 to 1K to kind of cover me should I do any should I mess up and not blow my account, even on a point oh 0.01. But I've seen people trade as low with $50 or $100. Like I've traded S&P off of with $100. I mean, it depends, but that was what I would do. I come in with like maybe 5 or 100, but that's how I trade. But I like to be on again on things that I'm not familiar with as much. I come with a little bit more money because a strategy is a strategy is a strategy. Whether it applies to an instrument is what you got to test it out and see. What'd you say, Valdez? Nas hit some news. Yep, it sure did. That 10 o'clock news. It sure did. Y'all haven't Thank you, Chris. You dropped the video from a week ago. Oh, my mic is coming in and out. Oh, okay. Well, let me know if you guys if it does that again. So sorry about that. It might be that I need to buy new headphones because I'm on headphones. Uh, let's see here. Hi, Mark. uh, cool. Appreciate that. Oh, wait. Where you going? Where you going, S&P? That was not a. I can't take that because that did not engulf. But this drop right here went. So I guess that news wasn't good. I guess that news was not good. Oh, didn't I say I was gonna put a oh, I got a new, hold on. I got a new low right here. That's the new fractal low. I can't use that one. Use this one. Mm. So it needs to close. Is this a new candle? Oh, dang. This is a brand new candle and it's playing. And you have to use the most recent fractal. Now, I don't like this one because this is a fractal high and low. This does not really signify to me an actual fractal. Now, it just created a new low of the day. And I'm on the M5. What is this zone here? What is this here? This is the previous day money zone right here, I think, if I wrote that right. No, oh, that's the 31. Oh, that's the 38.2. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Fractal breakout to the 38.2. It's going to touch it. So I need to get in safely with with an accurate entry, and let's see what happens. I wouldn't consider this a railway, honestly. I really wouldn't. And I really don't like that this is a up and down fractal. I really don't like that. So I really don't want to use that. I kind of want this to just wick out where it's at, close where it's at, and kind of turn around and go back up again, making this a new fractal low. But then it would be so close to this 38.2. So I'm just gonna kind of have to see what's going on here and figure it out what I want to do. Looking at the M1 real quick. Yeah, see, it did not even close on the M1. It just went down. See, this is why you have to zoom in and make sure you see what the candle is. So even though it came down here, it enclosed, it didn't close below my fractal, right? And then it opened below and then went back up again. So if you were looking at this candle, if you zoom out, you looking at it, you probably be like, oh, it was bearish, it closed below, I can hop in. No, no, no. Zoom in to make sure it actually is a closure below the line, then take your trade. Very, 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 very careful about that. And the reason why I say that is because I made that mistake. So I don't want y'all to make that mistake. Okay. Let me see. So it didn't close below, so we're good. That's that 38.2. That's like that's some that's some pippage. If you close below that and you go here, that's a 63 pip move on the M5. That zone is in the way. The M1 they got nothing in between it and the zone. The M5 got this thing here. So I believe it's gonna break that. And once it does, these are 38.2, 60, 50, and 61.8. Once it does, we gone. Here we go. That news must not have been good for the US. Anyway, so let me wait. I'm gonna wait. Patience is a virtue. Let's see here. So when it hit that area in S&P, are you buying? No, I'm in nothing but sales right now. Nothing but sales. I ain't buying for a long time. Not until this thing decides it wants to stop melting. No, I'm not buying for a while. Let's see here. Cool. Nothing else? Okay, so I'm just kind of checking. Got y'all. All right, so that is. You're quite welcome, Danielle. I just love the communication. I love the interaction with y'all. Um. Oh, Ashley. Well, thank you. Yeah, I know it might get boring because I don't take like a bunch of trades, but I don't like to lose. So I want to be sure. But it's a very fine line between patience and analysis paralysis too, you know? So sometimes uh I can get paralyzed based on my analysis, and then I'll miss a trade, you know. So I still constantly battle with that myself. So don't feel bad at all, y'all. Um, but also I'm on S&P too, because like I said, I'm doing a challenge for a funding account. I kept doing a challenge. I know I took one challenge and I hit the max daily limit on that thing by and over like $2. $2. I was so mad, y'all. I was so mad. I said, you know what? Forget it. I'll do the challenge again. It is what it is. Cause sometimes I know people want, and I'm only going off on a tangent because I'm kind of waiting for this to break because I feel like it is going to break now. So I'm just waiting to jump back in again. I kind of feel like some people have their pros and cons on funded accounts or whatever, and it is what it is. But I mean, I trade with my own money too, so it's not like I'm gonna just ignore my money. I live off of my money. So I'm trying to get a funded account so I don't have to use my money and just use it for some other things. I mean, I do other things as well. But that's why when I'm on these calls, I'm very particular about my trades because I'm in a challenge. So I don't want to mess up the challenge now. So the time that I'm on these calls with y'all is optimal trading time for me, and I'm trading S&P. So I feel like it's a mutually beneficial thing for both of us because I still get to trade and do what I need to do, and y'all get to see how I'm trading S&P. And it works to our benefit, I think. So you want to play around S&P? That's fine. Let me go peruse what's going on with the uh other ass instruments. Oh, Q&A. When will the session upload on YouTube? Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the session. The session, I believe they'll do it like at the end of the day. Because this is AP's call, Zoom session. So I believe they do it like towards the end of the day. But if you're on the AIRO announcements channel, you'll get like that announcement that the recording is up, and then you'll be able to see it from there. So I'm glad that this is helpful to you guys. I want to take another trade, especially while we're in the money zone, because I feel like I need this thing is coming, but it's playing. But actually, no, this is actually really good because I wanted it to bounce off of here, and this candle closed, and the next candle will make this a fractal low. So should that do that and break underneath that, it's definitely coming to that 38.2. So even if I catch just 20 pips off of this one, I'm fine. But 5 to 10 is what I'm shooting for. So once this candle closes, wherever it closes at, in the next 2 minutes, you're going to see the arrow pop up under here. And that would actually be a valid fractal low for me instead of this one right here where it has arrows up and down on it. Excuse me. So let me see here. Hey, sissy. You lucky I'm looking at the chat right now. The two color candle, what does it mean? It has inside the red line and outside is green. Oh, that is the way Nate colored the arrow template. So if you zoom out, let me zoom out. Hey Sandy, I see your hand raised, darling. Um, if you had a question for me, just drop it in the Q&A. But hello to you, dear. If you zoom out, you'll see that all of them is red, showing that the trend is down. But if you zoom in, the trend is down, but these were bullish candles, so the candle was actually going up. That's what the green overlaid with the red inside means. And then if you have green inside with red over top of it, it means it's an uptrend, but the candle was bearish. See, there you go. Boom, fractal low created right there. Now it's right on that zone, which is fine because that thing comes down. Well, shoot, if it comes down, that's like a 50 pip drop if it come down. Man, give me a candle formation or something to hop in there. Look what the M1 doing. Shoot, this is a 50 pip drop if it get in there. I need a candlestick formation. Somebody get me in there somehow. Matter of fact, give me this off the M1. Can I get a fractal breakout off the M1. That would help. I'm like that because that's like me leaving 50 pips off the board. Why would I do that? Let me go back to a higher time frame too. Let me see what's going on. Excuse me. Ooh, okay. Well, that's what it looks like on the M15. This is blast. What is this candlestick formation? It is bearish. It is pushing up but going down. That's weird, but that is a formation. Inverted hammer almost? No, it can't be because it's not down, but it's like going the opposite direction. So sell though. So in 4 minutes, this candle will close. And then this is what the H1 is looking like, which is fine. Yeah, so that's the H1 looking like. See how it's fighting? That's why it's playing around. It's fighting right now. Okay. But it's fighting this wave right here. I just need a way to get in. That's what I'm looking for. M30, bounce, arrow, drop. Yeah. And then this candle, it's all up in that zone, so you can't take a bag entry off of that neither. And that was a whew, completely engulfing candle off the M30 anyway. But anywho, I was trying to see if there was any other time frame that would give me an inclination to jump in, that would give me push, that would give me more incentive to say that it will clear that zone, but unfortunately not. So I'm just gonna have to depend on my breakouts. And that thing is coming back even more up. So we'll see. I gotta see. I'll wait and see. I was kind of hoping I might catch one right here, but that M1 has been funny. All this little playing around that the M1 is doing right now, I'm not liking that. Not one bit. Not one bit. Trying to think even more. What am I looking at? Hmm. I got 2 minutes for this candle to close off the M5. And if M1 starts dropping, that might be the way. Which it looks like might want to do it now. I need some music too. Y'all need to remind me to contact Nate to get some music going on here, because I doubt that y'all want to hear Prince. So y'all remind me to ask Nate what music he be chilling to, because it be quiet. Um, hey Merrick, that's all you raised your hand, so I figured see what's going on. Okay, boom, you going back up M1, good. So I'm just stay on the M5. Price action's telling me it wants to pull back up. It is what it is. Just wait. Um. Oh man, they were whoever thought they were in a buy on S&P. That was not a good look. On the M1, I could draw a trend line and look for a bounce and candle formation. I think I'm still learning. Yeah, you can, Chris. You can. Hopefully, it's okay to call you Chris Castillo. Hopefully, I pronounced your last name right too. Um, yeah, you can. But you know what? On the M1 on S&P, I'm not as cool with, because S&P can put you in drawdown, and I try not to, and end up staying in the trade longer. I really don't like that. So, where do you get the fractal low and the fractal high? Leo, that is in. I love that name, Leo. By the way, I do. I was gonna. Never mind. I ain't gonna tell y'all. Well, I'll tell y'all while I'm going. This might make y'all laugh. I grew up watching Ninja Turtles, and I had a big thing about art, all because of watching the Ninja Turtles, y'all. So I learned about Leonardo and Raphael and Michelangelo, all from watching Ninja Turtles. So never say that cartoons won't teach somebody something, because I got into art just because of them names. And so when I see the name Leo, it always reminds me of that, and how I actually wanted to name my kids Leonardo and Michelangelo and stuff like that. But I didn't want them to get picked on, so I left it alone. But fractals, insert indicators. Bill Williams, fractals. And again, you click on it, pick your color, and it'll drop, hit OK, and it'll drop it on there for you. So that's how you get the arrows. And you just need to count. Remember, I said these are based on 5 candlesticks. Okay, so count 5 candlesticks. One, two, three, 4, 5. The highest point out of those 5 is here. That's why this gets the fractal high. 5 candlesticks. One, two, three, 4, 5. The lowest point out of those 5 gets the fractal. That's why that's there. A new fractal is formed out of those 5 when a new low is formed. All right. Lower lows, lower highs, downtrend all day, all day. So I was just looking into nothing in the Q&A. Cool, cool. I love it. My trend line just got broke. Okay, good. Oh, okay. So you drew it off the M1. I love it. See, we all bonding off of Ninja Turtles. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. I saw that, Eva. Yes, I'm a huge Prince fan. So those that don't know me, I'm a huge, huge Prince fan. Huge Prince fan. Yes, so I was very saddened upon his passing. But huge fan. And I always used to mock people for being huge fans of entertainers and stuff like that. But then I fell into it and I just was like, okay, now I understand. You know what? I realized my chart is empty and I'm just kind of looking. So let me throw some MAs on here and find out what's going on with my trend. So I got my 200. That 200 will stay. Well, let me shout out my 62. Let me see what the 62 doing. Uh-huh. All right. Downtrend. Still okay. Come on now. This is a 5 minute. Yeah, this is I'm on a 5 minute time frame. I feel like this thing should drop like within these next 2 minutes and become engulfing or something. Do something for me, S&P. Stop playing. But y'all could see how it's playing on this 23.6. This ain't nothing but ranging. Okay, this is a range pretty much. Like not really like a consolidation, but I guess you want to call it that. But the point is, it's playing around on that thing like a box, and it needs to break out this box somehow. And I want it to break out below. That's what I want it to do. So you kind of just gotta wait and see what it's doing on the M15. See, it's prices above the 200 on the M15. So that could also be why I'm getting this pushback, but it needs to come down. So maybe by 10:45, this becomes an engulfing candle and it gives you more inclination for sales. So we just gonna have to sit in here and wait. And then I feel like I'm waiting on S&P right now. So even for my breakout strategy, it's gonna be a minute. So let me see what's up with the rest of these. Let me see what's up with the rest of these pairs. GBPs. Unless y'all got let me see. Oh, you heard my voice for 3 weeks, you never show my face. You know what? Cause my camera be messing up, y'all. So I will, you know what, next month, which is really literally next week, let me get a new camera and I will start to show my face. But you can see me. I'm on, if you look at the AP videos, that highlight video on as soon as you get to the channel, that's me. Right there. Um, Matter of fact, one of the earlier AIRO call videos when it's launched, that's me talking about AIRO. You definitely can catch me there. Um, Sissy, I'm hurt. Sissy, what you mean? Bearish divergence on the N15. You've been talking to Bobby, Sissy. You've been talking to Bobby. You've been talking. Can I look at you? But yes, of course I will look at Giard. Yes, of course I will. Um, let's see here off the N15. Ooh, bearish divergence. Okay. Well, Giard has been on a way up, which we got 2 up arrows, so you ain't gonna get another up arrow unless it kind of pulls back. But it's going to this zone here. But that's engulfing too. Go ahead. Is it? Yep. It's an engulfing, bullish, engulfing candle. on GR on the M15. So you got a zone in your way, right? So at 10:45 and it closes like this, you're gonna be like, man, there's a zone in my way. What you gonna do? Come on up to the M30 and see what's going on there. Ooh, zone right in your way. Same. What does it look like on the H1? All up in the zone. So on GR, and I do not have an up arrow alert either. So on GR, I mean, you can catch some pips based off the price action if you want. Um, I mean, everything is showing all signs is pointing towards bullish. So you can definitely catch some pips off of that for sure. But I am not as familiar with GR in the sense of trading it in that way, especially with all these zones in my way. I'm not really cool with it. Um, but I love it that you mentioned that bearish divergence. I'm not as good on bearish divergence, especially since, as you can see, it is bearish. But but all this playing around up in this zone can give you a real nice hard drop. Real nice hard drop. And by the way, since we are looking at this on the H1, here's GR. This is how you would draw your downtrend fib on GR. All right. And I will show you how you could have traded this pullback. Okay. So drawing the fib, highest point price closed above the arrow MA here. See, make sure you zoom in for your candles. It wouldn't be right here. I mean, well, this would be your highest point, but price closed above the arrow MA here. Here's the highest point the price was at, and then drop. All right. So price closure here. This is your highest point above the arrow MA. After that closure above it, highest point, draw to your lowest point. Price closed below the arrow MA, and then came back and closed above. Okay. So fib retracement, highest point, lowest point. Okay. Price closed above it right here in this candle. So your fib trend is in effect, right? Okay, you see the arrow MA here, nothing, price has not come above it until this candle. All right, so strat 8 of the fib is now in effect for GR. So what do you do now? You either A, wait for price to finish its pullback and then wait for it to restart its downtrend. Price is at 61.8 right now and going. Here is what you would do when you drew your fib and price closed above it. Remember how I drew S&P and I made my lines, making sure that I can catch it while it go? Here's what I did that. Look at these rejections. Here's your closure above the 23.6 entry candle here. Okay, off the H1. Entry candle here, going for a buy. Got drawdown of about 18, 19. We're going to just measure that 20 pip drawdown, right? When it closed above the 23.6, it's going to 38.2. Here we go, right here. 1 to 1, risk to reward ratio is about 1 to 1. Maybe you might get like 20 pips because your spread might have put you in a little higher. But that's 20 pip take profit right there. All right. All you had to do was wait. It touched it right here. So you would have hit TP in this candle right here. All right. But it didn't close. Okay. So once you hit TP, you had to wait for it to close above this 38.2 for it to go to the next 50. It closed here. So once it closed, you know it's going to the 50. Well, the next candle had you like right up in there, right? Right up in there. So you would have been probably scalping or whatever. This right here is how I've been trading pullbacks, level by level. This is how I have what do you want to call it? I took strategy 8 as the setup, and then not necessarily a modification, but it's an addendum to strategy 8. Okay, so I'm still waiting to get back in to take my downtrend, but I'm trading the pullback safely. Okay, so as it came here, you would have caught some TP right here, at the 50, and then what did it do? It closed above the 50. Where's it going to go? 61.8. Next candle, you would have had drawdown. That's cool. Don't be scared of drawdown. It's just that you got to be able to take it. And this is on GR. I'm doing this. You had about 17. Let's just round that up. 20 pip drawdown. It's going to 61.8. Well, 17 pip makes 17 pips. 1 to 1 risk to reward ratio. And then it kept going, you know. But you just wanted to go to the TP of the zone. You would have hit TP in the current candle that we're in right now. And then once this candle closes at 61.8, really, I don't want it to. I really want it to just kind of wick out where it's at and just stop. But if it does close, which in 20 minutes it probably will, just know that it probably will go to 78.6. Okay? And you can either get in on it at the beginning of the candle, or if you want to go to a lower time frame, maybe for some sniper entry, or look for an MA cross, or look for whatever you want to look for. But that's another way that I've kind of been just utilizing uh not only just the AIRO MA, and it also helps because it's above the AIRO MA, but also where's my 200? I don't even have the 200 on here because I don't have my template on here. But if I throw my 200 on here, let's do that. 200 simple. I know Nate uses an EMA. I've just been using the simple. But see, I was coming to that 200 like a little magnet. Whether it's an EMA, SMA, don't matter. 200, little magnet. Beautiful. And then even if it closes right here, I would say I would be caution to try and take it to the 78.6 because that 200 is right there. Acting like a what? A little resistance. Okay? So I would caution it. But as it was making its way on up, that's how you would trade that pullback. And then you now, once it's done, this is still a valid downtrend setup. Now you just going to wait for your A candlestick formation, candle pattern bar formation, MA cross, whatever, rejections, whatever you look at to catch a trade to go back on the downtrend. That's what you do. But I would look at the H1 to do that first before you go down to a lower time frame. Because sometimes if you go to a lower time frame to get in based off of a setup off the H1, you may find yourself in more drawdown than you would like. So I just would caution all that. But Sissy, you did not even ask for all that on GR, but you had me see that. Oh, check S&P. Oh, okay, hold up. Where am I at? Oh, thank you. Okay, so it drew down. I'm on the M5. Okay. And it's right. It did not break the M1 fractal low. It didn't break that yet. But thank you, Ann. Yeah, see, it kind of wicked and then it didn't break it. So it's not a breakout. But thank you for reminding me. I'm over there, when I get absorbed in my fibs. I'll be going on a tangent with my fibs. That's how much I love them. Love them, love them, love them. So, wait a minute here. Yeah. So I got a new fractal low here off of the M1. And I got a support zone. But price is under the 200 and it's under the AIRO MA. If it closes closes above the AIRO MA, which it looks like it might do, then this fractal is invalid until price comes below it again, which of course is what we would look for. And no, I would not look for a fractal high breakout because price is still under the 200. That's why it did not break and did not close above. So that's still good. And well, it didn't, but now it did. So what else yelled at me? So that's on its way up. What else yelled at me? We had Euro odd. Ooh, that's a second arrow. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are even. Okay, Euro odd. What is. Let me throw my template on here so I can have additional information. Yeah, there go the 200 right there. Mm. And I got all this movement going up. I do not like second arrows though. Just don't like them. Let me look at what the H1 is looking like. Euro odd. Euros are on an uptrend or downtrend? Uptrend. Is that a bounce arrow go? Is that a bounce arrow go? Do I have a bounce from that zone? I don't have a bounce from this zone. Whoever got a bounce on this, this is a valid bounce arrow go, y'all. If you got a bounce on that, more power to you. You know what? How many pips to the zone is that? It's 57 pips. That's a valid bounce arrow go. I just don't have a bounce, so I can't take it. But I got a fractal high and it closed above. See, just as I was thinking about I could take that for some pips, it's starting to pull back. Not meant for me. But the Euro odd second arrow, see that pullback. But that's two. If y'all got a valid bounce, that's a bag for y'all. I just ain't got it on this broker, unfortunately. But price is above the 200. Let me see. What does the daily look like? Where is price on the daily chart? Price is below the 200 on the daily. We got some discrepancies. Woo! Downtrend on the daily. Well, oh come on. Don't get stuck. Wait a minute, y'all. Looks like there we go. Okay. Yeah. Mm. I would be more looking for some sales right now. So that M1 buy, okay. So it pulled back and all up in that zone. Okay. So that's still my 23.6. It gave me a zone. Yeah, it's ranging. It needs to break out. And so it here drop. Price is below the 200, but it's above the arrow MA. So we gotta wait. This is still the only fractal to look at on the M1. It has to be below that arrow MA. And then on the M5, what is it looking like? Looks like it's trying to come up to this 200. Bounce. Look at that. I don't like none of this. I don't like none of that. See what happens. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. I got a little distracted. Waiting for a fractal in the zone, not only on S&P. No, not just the fractals off of the zone. Even though the fractal off the zone. Thanks by the way, Ann, for good looking out for you doing it. Uh, let's see here. Oh yeah. Let me see here. Okay. I was typing something to somebody. Can you use Strat 8 through the Asian session? Yep, you sure can. You can use fibs at any given time. It just needs to be fibs work when an instrument is trending. Okay, so for instance, you can use Strat 8 on, I would say, go in the demo and practice on NASDAQ because that's what I was doing last week for part of my challenge. I was trading Strat 8 off of NASDAQ, if I remember that correctly. It was Strat 8 and it was the fib level breakouts off of NASDAQ. If Lex is here in the chat, remind me, Lex, if that's what we were doing or we were doing a fractal one. I couldn't remember. But the point was the fib was drawn on there and we were doing it during Asian session. And so, and what I was trying to accomplish with that was when New York session is slow, like what it is now, um, the indices be popping. during Asian session. I noticed even S&P, but Nasdaq and US 30, they tend to be on a roll, and of course, Bitcoin. So I'm starting to get more into the Asian session to find those instruments that move. So that way, for those of y'all that have a 9 to 5 and can't necessarily trade like you want to during New York session, and you don't want to get up like me for London session because I'm on the East Coast, and that'd be like 2, 3 in the morning for me, and I'm asleep. I got kids and grandkids to take to school. So Asian session will be optimal. I just want to make sure we find the right instrument to trade in Asian session. You can trade currency pairs, but those would be your AUD pairs, your yen pairs, your Kiwi pairs, which is the New Zealand dollar. So those would be your pairs that you want to move or trade in that session. It's just that sometimes they move so slow, and most of the time I'm catching and I'm catching trending. I need some momentum. That's why I'm trading the New York session. The money zone is crucial for that. So, but yeah, figures work on any session. Stocks too. Oh, you're quite welcome, man. You're quite welcome. Hopefully y'all see why S&P is my favorite. Cause if I was in, wait a minute, somebody said, let me see. Euro sell alert on the M15. That was 20 minutes ago. I didn't get that. I think mine was a buy, I think. Yeah. I did not. Oh, I didn't get that alert, y'all. Ain't that something? I got this buy, but I didn't get this. Hmm. Interesting. And by the way, y'all, I can't catch the chat sometimes. So if I'm missing a trade, I need y'all to put it in the Q&A because it's easier for me to catch it in the Q&A. It gets lost in the chat sometimes. But dang, I missed that. Well, and that was a bag, wasn't it? Nope. Counter trend trade. Okay, good. So that would not, even though it went, um, yeah, even though it went, it was a bounce arrow go, and this happened after 10 o'clock. So that happened to be not a counter six. That was not a strategy six. That's a bag, and that was a bad counter trend if you wanted to catch it and go for it. But that doesn't follow any rules though, none whatsoever. So just so you know, I don't just willy nilly take trades either. It gotta follow some rules for me. So if you caught it and you caught pips, that's great. This might have been an inclination for you on like maybe a bank induction and it goes down again, but you would have had to tell me that you did it based off of a bank induction and not necessarily based off of this bounce arrow go, which is counter. That's what I would be looking at. So that's why I don't know why I didn't catch that. I didn't get that alert though for euro pound. That's interesting. Let's see here. What time in the Eastern is the Asian session, please? Asian starts. Sydney actually begins the Asian session, and currently, I believe they start at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and then Tokyo session starts an hour later at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So technically, if you really want Asian session as a whole to begin, it's about 5 p.m. Eastern time. But then if you want to avoid spreads, because the spreads are crazy at that time. So if you're trying to take a trade, believe me, I've seen spreads go up to like 19 pips off of a normal asset that's like a 3 pip spread. So in that time. So I would suggest I usually don't hop in the Asian session till like 8 o'clock Eastern time when the spreads are a little bit more normalized. GJ's going up in a zone. Whereas Sissy, like what time frame? Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. NAS 100 in the Asian session. That's what we were doing. Thanks, Lex. Appreciate that. I don't have gold on my screen, y'all, so I don't have gold in my charts. So if you guys are trading gold, you need to let me know. How y'all doing that, or if y'all want me to look at it or not. Let's see here. So GJ, yeah, they had that H4 arrow, but I couldn't take it because I didn't have no zone. But if y'all had one, I said y'all could take it. Because this is when it started, and you had 100 pips. So if y'all had a zone, y'all could have took that. I just ain't got it on mine, so I can only trade what I see on my chart. That's what I mean. And I don't normally trade the H4 except for bag entry alerts or if I'm drawing my fib for something else different. But I'm not usually on GJ. So I'm only looking at GJ for bag entry alerts. And that's it. Otherwise, I stick to my S&P. Uh, but I do have like I said, I have GJ on there for bag entry alerts. Ooh, look at that. All up in this zone. All up in that zone. And might be breaking it. So, hmm, it's above the 200. If it's above the 200 on the H1, what does it look like on the M15? Y'all got me looking at GJ now. Okay, so this bounce arrow go happened while I was asleep, so that's why that would have got missed. But that would have been 20 pips for sure. Mm, so whoever caught that this morning, if you were up for London session, that would have been nice. Price is above the 200 EMA, above the arrow MA. The next fractal high, I can mark that, which is what this thing looks like it's about to make, and then can catch another breakout to the top on GJ. That could be what can happen here. So thanks, sissy. Um, sure. Hey, Edwin, all I trade is S&P. Majority of the time, yes, S&P. Cause I like to catch my pips and dip, and S&P will make me collect 150 pips a lot faster than what a currency pair would do. It don't take long for S&P to move $15 in like a day, whereas a currency pair for it to move 150 pips, it might take a day or two or three. So that's why I trade S&P. Binary options, S&P only as well. Nope. S&P on binary options, yes, but I do currency pairs on binary options as well. And I stick mostly to the daily time frame. Mm, it's not daily time frame, excuse me, daily expiration, and the 20-minute expiration on the S&P for binary options using AIRO. Um, and that has nothing to do with the binary options that Nate's coming out with. That's me using it in my own way. But just so you know, AIRO binary options on its way. On its way. Um, Gold. Yes, Yolando. Yes, Yolando. Look at gold. What time frame are we looking at gold for? Well, what you want me to look at gold for? What time frame? Like, what are you talking about? M5, M15? What we looking at? Sissy, 7 pips and now climb to the sky. Oh, Sissy. You can make it back, Sissy. We're gonna make it back. Mm-hmm. We're gonna make it back. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm looking for that answer. Oh, the 5 and the 15. Well, good Lord, what happened? All right, Yolanda, I got you. So it's 11 o'clock. What do we got? We got Euro NZD, a buy on the H1. I got NZD USD. So let me pay attention to that. Okay, hold on. Whew. Let me quickly go through these alerts real quick. Euro NZD, I do not have as one of my normals. So that's coming off of the dashboard. What we got? What we got? Euro NZD H1. We got a bounce, arrow, go. Is it following the trend? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yes. And how many pips to the zone? 40 pips. Ah, I need 50. Okay. That's a valid bounce arrow go. You want to take the trade, go for it. I'm actually going to wait and see if it pulls back 10 pips so I can hop in and then take it to the zone for 50. Because right now, it ain't fitting the criteria that I want. But that is a valid bounce arrow go. Off the H1, you would take your 50 pip. You would set it for whatever the take profit is here. And then, which is like 40 pips on my screen. And then, but your stop loss is still 100 pips. So you still are risking more. So it's a little bit more than 2 to 1 now. But it is what it is. I'm kind of hoping it just pulls back some more 10 pips and then maybe I can jump in. AUDJPY. Hey, that's my favorite pair. Favorite currency pair. So that was Euro NZD. AUDJPY. What we doing, AUD? I got a bounce. Arrow go. That is not 20 pips. That is not 20 pips. It's like 7 or 8. Nope. Not taking that. Again, it's a valid bounce arrow go, but it's only 8 pips. And so it's 8 pips and your stop loss is 40 pips. Not really for me. Not for me. But it's valid. You want to take it? Go for it. I know it's interesting. I would do that on S&P. I wouldn't do that on a currency pair, but because S&P wouldn't keep me in a trade all day either. New Zealand dollar H1. That looked like it's not even just a potential. They just yelled it, and it's not even highlighted here. So I ain't got no zone, even though it kind of looks like this could be a zone, but I'm not falling for the hype because I had fell for it last time, and then it messed me up. Going down, and we in an uptrend. So nope, 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 nope. Not even following trend. Not valid bounce. Not a valid bounce ever go. Going against the trend. Nope, nope, nope. But it may not work for bounce arrow go, but it sure could work for my fib. But before I do that, let me go hop over to gold because Yolanda was waiting patiently for me to look at gold off the M5 and the M15. And you can draw your fib and see if I had a fib on here. Isn't that funny? Let me delete that because it's not mattering right now. Okay. So here's gold off of the M5. So, I mean, if you're talking about that down arrow, you are in a downtrend. So the down arrow and the downtrend, that would have been okay. But what are the other additional confirmations? You did have a bounce, and then to the zone. From here to the zone, what are you looking for? That's only like 5 pips. That's a 50-cent move. I think if Nate is on the M5, I don't think he's going for no 5 pips. I think I see him going for like maybe 20 to 50 pips on gold. So that's too close to a zone. You wouldn't be able to catch nothing significant anyway, but you could have caught that 5 pip scalp and dip if you wanted to. But then the next candle was like dang near engulfing and it took off. So that's a 5 minute time frame right now. But you got a lot of bearish. What's the word? Pressure. Yeah, pressure going on. And you said on the M15. So on the M15, first of all, I don't like none of this that I'm seeing on gold. This is why I have such a hard time on gold. I can't follow this mess right here. This stuff. I can't follow that. Me. I'm not good with trading that. It needs to look like this for me to catch it. All right. If it don't look like this and it look like this, I can't trade that. All right, because I'm gonna ask you, where the heck am I gonna draw my fib on this? You know, it keeps going above and below the arrow MA. I can't draw no fib on this time frame anyway. Right now, if I go down to the M5, where the heck am I gonna draw my fib? But this is nothing but ranging going on. See, gold is ranging. So fibs don't work for this. So it's hard for me to trade like that. So I would solely be depend um depending upon AIRO to help me out with this one because it's not in my strength to trade it in that way. Okay, but looking at gold right now, like I said, it's ranging right now. So I would actually wait for it to make a decision on where I want to go before I would do anything with gold. Um, Maybe even look at gold at a higher time frame, and then look at see all that ranging has been going on for a while. Yeah, wait till they make a decision, and then I will go in there. But that's just me. Sorry, my allergies are bothering me, you guys. Again, hopefully I don't lose my voice again. So let me get rid of gold. Hopefully that helped. AUDJPY, Euro NZD, Euro odd over there, GBP odd gone. Okay, everything's back to normal. And I'll go back to my S&P. See, we just doing that ranging, just doing that ranging, and it has not gone to that 38.2, so it still needs to drop. And it's acting like it don't want to do it for me now. So I'm gonna have to wait. Okay, so hopefully Yolanda, I answered your question. Euro NZD don't it's bouncing off an MA 300 on the M15. Is it sissy? I'm not sure. I don't have a 300 300 MA on mine. Um, but if it is and it looks valid, then go for it, darling. I was I'm just cautioning you said on the M15, not the H1. It's going up. See, I want my 50 pips. I see the arrow MA. You said the 300, and I'm thinking you mean the 300 SMA. Is that what you're talking about, sissy? Look at you getting saucy with it. You like that pun I just did? It's under the 300 on the M15. So, yeah, I will wait for sure. For sure on that. It's under the 300, but it got to push its way up. Probably be more inclined as it pushes its way up. Okay, cool. You good? You got it, Orlando. Let me know how that works for you with gold. Um, how do we get a colorful line? Dr. Arfan, how you doing? Um, what do you mean colorful line? Are you talking about the horizontal line or are you talking about the moving average line? Put that in the Q&A for me so I can see it and then respond that way, okay? It's 11:08, so let's see what's going on here. So we had those. I'm waiting for breakouts that ain't probably gonna happen for the rest of the day. So I just really just caught that one trade on S&P, and I'm just kind of just waiting for it to set back up again. But Strat 8 is in effect. So honestly, swing trade might be happening on my S&P, which is fine with me. Fine with me. Um, Here we go. So we got the closure below the 23.6. And then it went back up in it, closed below, opened below, and closed above it. And now this current one, but it's staying under the arrow MA. That's fine with me. That's fine. I really wanted to come down to this 38.2. This support zone is just causing issues though. And it needs to be broken. And I kind of need it. I think it is going to be broken though. But one of these two zones is getting broken. Has to, in order for price to figure out which way it needs to go. It has to. But let me see here. So, okay, it was the simple. Okay, I got you, sissy. That's what I had. I did do the simple 300. Um, let's see here. Oh, the moving average on the US 500. Okay, so to put the moving average lines on here, okay. So to do that, I'm gonna go. Let me see. I'm staying on the H1. I'll do that. So I'm missing one of my moving average lines. So I need to put them on here. Oh, sorry. One second, y'all. Let me look like somebody's. Make sure this ain't a call from my kids. Hold on. Bear with me. Hold on. 1 second, you guys. Let me check this, please. I just got an emergency message. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I'm sorry about that, you guys. I just got a text message and need to make sure I watch out for my kids' school. Sorry. Drama just took place around here. Hopefully everybody's okay. Not at my kids' school, but in the vicinity. So those of y'all with kids, you already know when you get that emergency message, you need to look at it. So really, if I have to cut this short, I will. I just have to wait for updates. But everything at my children's school is okay. It's the area is the issue. But anyways, I'll watch that. So what was I looking at? Insert MA. Okay, so insert indicators, trend, moving average. That's what I have. Okay. So the moving average I want to put on this chart that I'm missing is, let's say, my 5. Excuse me. No, I don't want my 5 today. I want the 20. I want the 20 period. All right. And I want it to be an EMA, so exponential. Always apply to the close. And I want to change the color. So color is right here under style. And say I want that to be this light, bright school. I mean, not school, color. And then hit OK. And there it is. 1 second. I'm getting a call from my school. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I need to make sure I listen to that message. They'll update me later. Cool. Okay, so let me see. Where was I at? Oh, so hopefully, Dr. Arfat, did I answer your question on how to put the MA on there? Let me know. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, y'all. Yes. Yeah, everything's okay. Just when there's things that happen in schools in the vicinity, even if it's not at your child's school, the school does go into lockdown. So they were just letting me know that my kid's school was on lockdown and explaining why, but nothing happened directly at my kid's school. It's in the area. So, but it's beautiful and glad that cautions are always taking place. So, but I appreciate that, y'all. I appreciate y'all looking out. There we go. So got that. Oh, so that's that moving average line. So I put the 20 EMA on there because I wanted to see that and what it's doing. Normally the 20 over the 100 EMA on a daily signifies a cross, like a golden cross or a death cross. So those of y'all who are in those chats, like when you get the FX blue and I posted in there, that's what those mean. It's the 20 over the 100 EMA crossing. So that's what that is. But here again, S&P, and it's 11:15, so everything is slowing down now. So really, that mass drop that S&P did, literally this entire candle, um, uh, normally things are setting up now to either continue on down or it's going to turn around and go back up again. Not quite sure what it wants to do, but since it's 11:15, things are slowing down now at this time anyway. So I'm not really anticipating breakouts to happen, but setups are occurring. So we've set up, and I know I got so many lines on my screen, so I apologize for that, you guys, but it's kind of how I set things up and then I look at it and move forward. But you guys already saw it when I set things up originally. So I marked them off. daily fractal high. Okay, so this is the I don't think I went over the S&P daily fractal high with you guys, but the reason, here's the daily fractal high. If I did, I'm actually waiting for price to close above the fractal high, signifying a fractal breakout to the upside on the daily. So I'm using the fractal breakout strategy. As long as it's above the 200, as long as it's above the AIRO MA, take the fractal breakout. And if you want me to prove it, I will prove it to you. Here it is again on the fractal breakout on daily on S&P. Right here. Here's the candle that closed above it. Take the trade. Go. Okay. Now, I don't know how many pips this thing is going to go, but that's an entry. But what I would say looking at this is a couple of things. I know I got a lot of stuff on here, so let me open up another chart for you just on S&P so you can understand the power of it, the fractal breakout strategy that I'm showing you, and the fib. Okay, so both of those I'm going to show you. I'm just going to use the regular AIRO in my screen right now. So here's the daily. All right, and let me put my fractals on here. Insert indicator, Bill Williams, fractals. Whatever color I want, they're there. Okay, this is the fractal I'm looking at. This is the last fractal. Here's the 200. Let me make sure I put the 200 on there so you can see, because that's the strategy. 200. It doesn't matter if it's simple or EMA, but I use simple. Longest price is above both. Okay, here's your strategy. Off the daily. Mark it off right here. Boom. First candle closes above it right here. Next candle, take your trade. Okay, so you see this and you're like, that's way more than 5 pips. Of course it is. It's a daily candle. You're definitely going to get more than 5 pips. Remember, 5 pips is a 50-cent move. How much money did this thing, how much did it move on this one day? Like 206 pips. It did like a $20 move, almost $30 move or something like that. 206 pips in one day, right? You would have caught that fractal breakout strategy, okay? However, if you want to be able to hold it longer, so to speak, right? Fib is what you would do. You draw your fib, and you just draw your fib, not for strategy 8, but just learn how to draw fibs. Just drawing a fib, just measuring a trend. This is a trend move right here, okay? This is a trend move right here. This is a pullback. This is a pullback. This is a pullback, right? Right here. This is actually the pullback. Boom, boom, up, boom, up, boom. That's how you do it, okay? It's actually kind of like ranging. But here's a move right here, okay? This move is what I would measure right here. Now this fractal high gives me time to draw this. Why? Because this is not confirmed until this candle closes. These are daily candles. Once this candle closes, this fractal high is confirmed. Okay? Once that was confirmed, you got this bullish candle right here is engulfing. If you would have got in here, you would have had some drawdown for sure. For sure. And this is major drawdown when it's on the daily candle. But what you're looking at is if you draw your fib, you see the pullback. Okay? Close below this 23.6. And what did it do? It hit that 38.2. And then went back up again. It didn't go back to 0. It must have stalled. There must have been like a support zone here or something. Okay? I mean, a resistance zone. And then it pulled back again. Okay? Once it did that, though, that's why this is your move, and then this is another one. But once it came down and pulled back and then wanted to go back up again, this is where you waited for your candle to close above, and you take your trade, and then you can kind of wait and see how far did it pull back here, which is the 50 line, and then hold it to what? Your negative 50. So Pia, this is why your negative inverses are important. Shout out to Corey. see more pips, who wanted to see the inverse actually come to fruition off of S&P and the indices. Here it is off of the daily, come to fruition. It pulled back to 50, and when you get in, your entry, you don't see a candlestick formation that you want to get in, right? Me personally, I don't see one. I see rejections. I don't see what I like. But you know the fractal breakout strategy. You know you can get in that way. And so you get in right here and you just ride it up to the 50. Negative 50 inverse, right? And how many pips is that if you would have wrote it? That's 1,000 pips. 1,016 actually. Okay? That is the power of knowing your fibs, knowing how to draw the fib, knowing how to recognize a trend, and applying the AIRO principles that you're taught to ensure that you can have a successfully profitable trade. And now throw in the fractal in there. And all that is just giving you an entry to help you get into a fib, restarting a trend. Okay, so I mean, some people have been like, oh, I missed all that. You could. But if you were going off of just the daily, that's what you go off of. So I'm actually trying to replicate that again. So here is where I was trying to do it. Right here. Okay, here's my new fractal high. I had my pullback, got these railway tracks, and then it wanted to come up. But then it stopped. It didn't close above it. And now it's actually starting to pull back again. So what's going to happen is if tomorrow it closes, opens below and continues to drop, then the next day is going to confirm that this is my new fractal high. And I would just need to wait for that particular setup to execute off of the daily. That doesn't negate anything else that I'm doing down below. That's just me explaining to you how you apply that same thought process just to a daily time frame. Okay. If there's any questions on that, drop them in the thing. What am I seeing in all the MAs? All the MAs is just doing is just showing me the trend. It's showing me the pressure of what's going on, of how price is moving. That's really what I'm getting out of these MAs, especially on the lower time frame. Remember, I think a week ago I had the 513 and the 62 with the AIRO MA and the 200 EMA, right? And so remember the 5 to 13 and the 62, we got those from the Hawkeye call. Shout out to Matt, Al, Brian, Eva, Christine on the Hawkeye call. That's where I got those MAs from. I mean, they've been having them MAs on there for the longest time since I've been with using the software. I've always seen those MAs on there, and I just needed to find a way to have it apply. So I found a way to have it apply now. I just look at it for pressure, and once I get across on those, it's a lot more significant where that pressure is going, and lets me know that price can kind of feed in the direction that I want it to. So that's what I'm looking at when I have these MAs here. So this is 20. Now this 20 EMA, and if I throw the 100 on there, it's the same thing. It just signifies pressure. It's just measuring trend over a different time period. But like I said, a 20 over the 100 EMA signifies crosses and golden and death crosses. And off of the daily chart, all that means is it will signify how a longer withstanding trend. That's what they do. Okay, so each EMA and how they cross, they all mean something different. But when you're just looking at it on a chart and just watching how it's following the trend. And so as you can see, the AIRO MA is following the trend just as well as the 20 is, and the 62. They all are following. But you see how far apart they are? It seems the further are they apart, the stronger the trend is. Very similar to the alligator. Very similar. Same thing. Same concept anyway. Yep. Strategy can be applied to lower time frames. Any time frame. Yep, Eva. All time frames, darling. All time frames. Just practice it. I would just say just practice it, because you gotta also remember it needs to, and Nate is going to continue to look at it, and it might turn into like a confirmed AIRO strategy, but it takes time for Nate to do it. But since he mentioned it on a call to y'all already, I can kind of talk about it. But I don't live and die by it. Okay, but just know that I would stress practicing it so you could see what I see. Okay, it took me 150 trades on S&P, going back, looking at it tick by tick, not just candle. And here's why. Just because you see a candle formation and it's going down, that doesn't necessarily mean that price went straight down during that entire candle. Price could have started here, went down to here, came back up to here, went down to here. You see what I'm saying? You wouldn't be able to see that in the candle. You would only see that going by tick, tick by tick. That's how meticulous I am when I was going through and researching a strategy. So tick by tick is what I did. Now, how to back test that? You can't back test it because it's not an EA and it's not really an indicator, because you would have to create the indicator to with the specific rules that I said in order for you to be able to try and back test it. And then there's other very varying factors involved. So the best you could do is go by candlestick formation and kind of just go through the charts and just throw on, and the AIRO MA is on there no matter how far back you go, and throw the 200 on there and then the fractals, and you can go back. Don't worry about the support and resistance zones. Just go back practicing. If you were to see your fractal and you would take your trade here, here's the candle. Does it catch me 5 pips? Does it catch me 10 pips, 20 pips, whatever, each time frame, and go through it 100 times per time frame by candle, and then go back even more and do it by tick if you can. And that way, that's how you master a strategy, honestly. And then you'll be able to see what I see easily. Okay? So hopefully that helps. A tick is, instead of it going by a candle, you go by ticks. So for instance, let me see if I can show you on your market watch. Here's your tick chart right here. See how price goes up and down? That's one way to actually go back. And well, you can't do it right here, but there's a way for you to go back, like in the strategy tester and stuff like that, and you go tick by tick. That's what that means. Ticks are more accurate because it specifically tells you how price is moving in a candle. So that's how you do ticks. Or look at what a tick is anyway. Absolutely, sissy. Anytime, anytime. Okay, Hendrik. Would I put the 0 of my fib at the current fractal high and the 100 at the current fractal low? That is one way to do it, Hendrik, and that's not a wrong way, actually, because there is no specific right way to draw your fib. It's all based upon your interpretation, but that is one way to do it, to maybe give you some landmarks on the chart to be able to look. So here, like if you draw from this low to this high, yeah, that would be a valid move. Okay, and that's actually how I would draw it, because that's that move, you know. And then this high to this low is your pullback, and then this low to the next high is your next move that you're gonna measure. Okay, this high to this low is a pullback, but notice how it didn't create a new high. It didn't go up, it didn't create a new high. It kind of stuttered and then dropped again. So this is actually high, low. This is your pullback, and then it took off. Okay, so once it took off and it hit 0, which is right here, 0 is always the first TP, and then it took off for the rest of it. But yeah, that's a valid way to do it. And it's a nice way to catch some landmarks to be able to draw your fib. So excellent, Hendrik. Now look back at Euro NZD is starting to pull back. Okay, good. Let me see. They pulled back them 10 pips. Ooh, did it now. Do I have 10 pips to the zone? Close. Pull back six more pips. Pull back 6 more pips, and I could take it. Did it go back up? Let me. I see it went lower than that. Hold on. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in and let me see. Did that wick give me that 50? Yep, it's close. I might take that. I might take that. Might take that. We're bearish right now, but that did get me close. It gave me about that 50 if I would have got in here. So I'm not going to do a buy stop. But if it comes back down there, and I will put an alert. If it comes back down there and touches it again, I would be more inclined to hop in. And more inclined. And that's Euro NZD on a buy, yeah. Daily, wait a minute. Daily is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we don't know what we're doing on the daily. Ooh, gosh. Euro NZD on that downtrend, boy. But it is coming off of this bounce, off this support. Okay. Shoot, actually, I would be happier with the H4 alert versus that H1, honestly. But in order for that H4 alert to appear, it would need to close above that arrow MA anyway, which would put us in this position anyway. So let it come back down there again and I'll hop in. So thank you for that, Yolando. And no, Kevin, that fractal thing didn't apply to indices. It applies to anything. I did G-Odd earlier, so it applies to anything. You just gotta the one of the reasons why it's not an actual AIRO strategy yet is because Nate wants to be able to provide recommended take profit and stop losses. So Nate's the mathematical genius that he is. Okay, so I leave that to him. I found a fire strategy with AIRO and it worked. But let me see here. Bear with me, you guys. 1 second. I've got to take this call. Okay, sorry. I'm back, you guys. Okay. I lost track of what I was saying, so I'm so sorry. Kevin, I think it was, that asked about the indice thing. So hopefully I answered your question. If not, please repeat it. GJ red zone is gone. Okay, cool. It went up. That's great. The GJ red zone is gone. Oh man, that thing took off to the freaking stratosphere. Okay. Did it go 50 pips? Let me see. Make sure. It's bullish. It went 50 pips already. Well, can't chase that trade. Did this go 100 pips? Let me see. Jeez. 55. I can catch another 50 to that zone. I'm gonna hop into this GJ joint right here and catch another 50 to the zone. That's what I'm going to do. Since it's supposed to be 100 pips, so I'm just gonna go 50. There we go. Actually, yeah, on the H4, it is 50 pips to the zone, right? So if I started here and I went here That's 110 pips. That should be fine. The only thing is I really don't have a zone appearing here, so I am wary of this trade, but we'll see what happens. But I feel like we're gonna go up. I don't have a zone though, so really I should just take this as a scalp and just get out of my way. That's really what I should do. Um, but if you have a zone there, that's a valid H4 trade, like I said earlier. But that thing just went to the moon here. Bounce, arrow, go. Just went to the moon. So honestly, I'll just take this for a 5 pip and dip and just trying to just catch the end of this momentum because I really don't have a zone on mine and I don't want to get caught. So let me do this here. That's about 5 pips. Let me do that. It's right back at the high. We'll see what happens. But I feel like it'll still go in my favor because H4 was going up, but um like I said, I don't have a zone here. So I can't necessarily say I'm going to take it all the way up here because I really ain't got a bounce. I'm literally just kind of going off of what the momentum is doing right here. Um, let's see here. Yeah, because even M5, M15 is pulling back, but see, I got a fractal low, giving me a change, giving me some momentum. I really just want to come right back up here, which is right below the high of the day. So we'll see what happens with that one. But literally, if you guys were already in it, then you were already in it, and you just trade your chart. This one is just me necessarily just kind of just following momentum, honestly. And I'm on the M1, in the zone right here. What's this, like 3 pips? I'm gonna just say if it comes down here. Oh man, that's a lot of pips. I'm just gonna get out right here at 4 pips. I don't think that's gonna work for me. I don't like that. So I'm just gonna hop out right there. If it touch it, it touch it. Hopefully y'all didn't all jump into that. Yeah, it sucks though. It's like, man, I wanna get this. Well, I wanna catch it and catch some pips, but it's like I ain't got no zone. Honestly, you know what? That thing lets me break even again. I'll just break even and jump out. That's what I'll do. I'm just hop out of this thing. Once this thing go positive, let me hop out of this one and I'll wait for a better entry. Uh, come on. Mm, actually, what am I doing? Just do this. I just need to cover that. There. There you go. Just take me out. Anyway, so that's that. Let me do things. Okay, cool. Thank you, Kevin. All right, so let's see. Anything else? Did I send a fractal breakout video in the group? No, I don't think I did, Julian. I don't think I did. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Take me out, and then it goes up. I really wasn't comfortable with that trade, but rather not lose money and win some money. Gosh, I wish I had a zone though, so I could take that as a bag, literally. But it looks like I'm going to just have to just look for my breakouts. So again, the same thing. This was a fractal breakout. Could have gave you your entry right here. Boom, right there. Above the 200, above the arrow MA. This is the candle that closes. Take your trade. Boom. Off we go. Okay. I wasn't just, but again, for fractal breakouts, I got to sit there and look at the chart and mark it up. And then it's always the most recent one. So doing it off the M15 is a little easier because you just got to come back and check every 15 minutes. If you're doing on a lower time frame, you got to come back and check as often as those candles work, right? So I wasn't focused on GJ this morning, but I probably will tomorrow and stuff. I was really just kind of focused on S&P, but um that's how you do it. You just gotta mark it up on your chart. And the easiest way, honestly, if I would have, and I got back late from dropping my kids off, so, but to tell y'all going forward, excuse me, is to mark up your chart, mark up your fractal, and then do a little alert. Just do a price alert, trading and alert, and just leave it there, and then it'll just ring for you when that price actually hits it. Okay, very similar to what it did for S&P for me earlier. It did those rings, and then I was good. So it's gone now, but I believe this was the one that we did, and we caught that, and it did those rings right when price was breaking there. So that's how another way to kind of mark it, and then just set it and then forget it until it comes back down this way. But because I'm on the M5, look, I gotta mark each and every fractal on the M5. So for instance, let me get rid of this one. So this one was the one we was waiting on late earlier, right? But look, I got another one, I got another one, and I got another one. All of these are under the 200, and price needs to stay under the AIRO MA. Okay, so this is the most recent fractal. So with this fractal, I need to have it close below it and then jump in again. Okay, but it's off the M5. So see how many times you got to come back and check. So I kind of lazy. I'd rather just do it off of the M15 if I don't plan on sitting at my chart, or the M30 or the H1, so on and so forth. All right, but depending on the time frame, you got to watch it because the rules change. See here on the H1, everything's above the 200. So you're not looking for fractal low breakouts, you're looking for fractal high breakouts. Okay, so make sure you pay attention to the time where the 200 is on your time frame, and where the AIRO MA is too. Uh-huh. What about GR, sissy? What about it? Let me know. Because it will probably be the same situation, I think. Um, how do you set alerts on the horizontal lines? Oh, you're not really setting an alert on a horizontal line. You're just setting a price alert. So what you're doing is you come here and you right click. So anywhere in the chart, you could do a right click, trading, and then an alert. Okay. So when you do an alert, it creates this arrow right here. And when you double click on it, it should come up with like an alert editor. That's what it's called. It's enabled. It's going to give you a sound. It tells you the symbol. All right. And it gives you the alert. I pretty much leave everything as is. The only thing I'll change is if the price is different than it needs to be, I'll just update the price. Leave the bid where it is. It'll give you above if you're looking for buys, and if it'll give you a sell, it's going to be below. But then your timeout is every 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds, it's going to make a sound for 5 times. Or every 30 seconds or 60 seconds, it's going to make a sound for 50 times. Okay? So technically it's like every minute on the minute, I'm going to get an alert 50 times for an hour almost, you know? So that's what that signifies. And then you just hit OK, and it'll update it. And then if you want to get rid of it, you can right click on it. You can also modify it, delete it, or disable it. And then it goes away. That's how you set price alerts. All right, so I got well, okay. Yeah, what I mean, G Chef and Euro NZD. So that Euro NZD is giving us that buy again, which I think was the one what is this? I got another bounce. AIRO, go. He ain't got nothing in my way to that zone. Why is Euro NZD fall? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why. I'm like, why am I hesitating? I'm on a downtrend here. That's a no. It's a no go. But it's a no go for an AIRO or for a bag, but not a no go maybe for my fib. So I just drew this move. Let me see what it looked like. Came back, wicked out at the 38.2, pulled back, closed below again. We sitting on the support zone. All this, we got these zones just building in the way, just building. So, not really partial to that particularly, but here is a way to possibly run that. So I'm going to the H1 for a second and I'm going to show y'all something. Highest point and closed above the arrow MA here. H1 is in a uptrend. All right. This is a downtrend trade that I'm downtrend arrow. Downtrend fib that I am showing y'all. Okay. Reason why is this is a counter because I just see this big move. Okay, I'm not paying attention to necessarily the actual trending of the zone of the zones on this time frame. All I saw was this is a major move down. What is it doing? Even though I know overall we're on an uptrend, that's what it's saying to me, right? But I see this down movement, so I feel like it might be changing its direction. But as price pulls back up, technically this is price following the trend, right, of where it wants to go. So when price closed above this 23.6, where is it supposed to go? To the 38.2. And once it went to that 38.2, take P, and it kept going. So that's one way that I've started to kind of see how to take an arrow alert and just see it as notifying some momentum is going on to possibly hop into a trade. So, and then of course you have this H1 alert that's giving you more momentum as well. So all those things is in there, but I'm not really kosher with all of that, especially now that it's pulling back some more. But remember, I had that alert there, so if it pulls back some more, it might give me the 50 pips I want to go forward. However, look at that. That might be a W, so I don't want to get psyched out either. Very, very wary on the Euro NZD. I'm very wary on any of the Euro pairs, actually. What was the other one that yelled at me? G-Chef. G-Chef. Okay. So G-Chef, I have a bounce, which is here. Okay. And then it pulled back on me. So that's not in my favor on the M15. And I'm on a downtrend. All not in my favor right now. So, and I feel like this is kind of ranging, so I can't even really draw a nice fib on this. So it's a no-go on G-Chef right now. No-go on G-Chef. But for a bag, yes. See, does it fall into other categories? Okay. So G-Chef is giving me a fractal high. Here we go. Mark that off, because if it turns around and goes up to that fractal high and breaks above it, it might be nice. Now here's an example of a fractal high. Right here. Price came down though. Okay, price came down and it causes a fractal high, and then price came down and it closed below the 200. It closed below the 200. So I don't like this fractal at all. If price came and closed below that 200, I don't like this fractal to even try and do a fractal break trade off of it. Okay, because then what happened? Look what happens. Even though it break above it, what did it do? Turn around and came right back down again. All right, forming a new fractal. So that is a caveat that you want to take a look at. Make sure. Same thing for this one. All right, I got a fractal high. Okay, but then price, and then price. What candle confirms it? That third candle. Price closed below the 200. No go. Third candle. Price closed with 200. No go. Okay, if you want to confirm that it's actually a confirmed closure, this is a bearish candle. It's all red. Close below the 200. No go. Okay, don't want to do that. And it's sitting on its zone. It's just telling you get ready for it to come back up again. But yeah, that's the fractal strategy on a currency pair. Just sit tight and wait for these. Most of these anyway. If you could be on the chart, and these probably be even more fire during London session when you got all this movement on currency. My microphone's tripping because for some reason it keeps messing up. Um, Shout out to Mike for asking me if I'm going to be on London session. I might not be on London session tonight. I might. It depends on what's going on. But I'm trying to surprise Nate, so I don't want to tell y'all when I'll be on there. But I do owe him. Um. Okay, never mind on G Chef. Gotcha. Cool. Um. Are you looking for a bid on buy on Euro NZD? Yeah, that's what I was looking for. GN is about to go down. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, most of them, honestly, I just let price do what it needs to do. Just let it play out the way you want it, the way it needs to play out. Cuz sometimes you're going to get stuck with just looking and looking, and then you'll try and see a setup that ain't even really there. So, I would just say just mark up your chart and then just watch price if you can. If you can't sit at a chart all day, that's fine. Just go off your entry alerts, bag arrow alerts. They'll tell you. And then if it's a go, you got the pips to the zone, go for it. You following the trend, go for it. But if you got the time to sit there and look at a chart, then just mark up your chart, wait for the setup and let it play out. And when it's ready to play out, it'll play out in your favor for sure. Um S&P might be going up, but I'm gonna let it might be messing around. Look, I got a bullish engulfing candle off of the M5. Bullish engulfing candle with this bounce. So it's closing above that arrow MA. Might be making its trip back up. It just might. Um, Alrighty. So, but that candle's not gonna close for another 3 minutes, and so I'm not sure what it's gonna do. But that might be a nice little scalpy scalp. But other than that, you guys, I know I only took like one or two trades. That sounds like one of my the alerts are going off. Yep, it is. So let me find out which one it is. Here, Euro NZD. So where's my Euro NZD at? Euro NZD. And oh, price was touching there because I was trying to see if I want to hop into the trade. And I guess you guys can hear it, right? So now that price has touched that, I'm gonna just delete it. That's turning. I don't know about that, boy. That is engulfing down. So I'll wait. I'll wait. Um, it could go up, and if you got in and you had this bounce arrow go, I mean it's a 50 pip take profit, but your 100 pip stop loss is down there, so that's it ain't coming nowhere near your stop loss for sure. So that might be to your benefit, but it might help, but I'll wait on that. But other than that, you guys, it's 11:54. Yes, that's 11:54, and I'll just stop sharing my screen. Today was a pretty slow day. I know that uh, a lot didn't go on today, but definitely keep an eye out on GOD, Sissy, since you got that GOD. Euro odd as well. I would just kind of look at them and see if they're doing the both the same way, moving the same way. You guys got that on NAS, for alerts to show on the bottom of the screen on your terminal, the same way you see your trade. Just let me see. Let me do that again one more time. So this is called your terminal, MT4 terminal. So you click on that, your button, and you see your trades and stuff and your balance, and alerts is right here. So that's how you see the alerts that you already created all right there. And you can double click on them to edit, modify them, or you can try to right click on them to delete from there. You can also right click in here to create a new alert and just do it by hand, all those things. Okay. So you guys, hopefully this was helpful. I hope so anyway. And you guys very much. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. I'm glad to be on here. Um, I do not know if I'm going to be on the call next Tuesday because I am actually moving. So I will try to be though. So I will let y'all know sooner in the chat if I'm not going to be on the call next Tuesday. But if I am, you'll see it. So thank you guys for joining and keep catching those pips and hopefully you guys can practice those strategies. Take care. Bye.